Hi guys, welcome to Chris Cowlin's YouTube channel and also Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and Twitch for this live watch along for the game in the Premier League between Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur. How are you feeling about it, guys? I can tell you that about an hour ago, or just over an hour ago, I was thinking, despite everything, maybe we might get a win today. And then I saw the squad news and... well, before I get into the team news, all of it, just to say Mickey van der Ven is not in the squad. All the rumours coming out of the club, all the reports are that there's no fresh injury and that they are just monitoring his minutes is the term that has been used. But all the reports coming out, despite the fact that we bought our first outfield player of the window last night in Kevin Danso, the Austrian centre-back, the reports still coming out are that Tottenham are looking at another centre-back as well, which makes me fear that maybe there's more than meets the eye to the Mickey van der Ven situation. I hope I'm wrong, but I have to say, not to get negative right at the start, but I fear that with no Van der Ven, maybe the chances of us getting the win that I thought we might kind of fall by the wayside. Anyway, before I get into that team news, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please do give this video a like if you're watching on YouTube. The more likes we get, the more Spurs fans will get to see this and the more engagement and chat we can have in the comments. Please do send in your comments any questions you've got, anything you'd like to talk about in terms of Spurs, the transfer window, the league form. We're now down in 16th place in the Premier League. Wow. What a time to be alive. And of course, today going to a club who have one of the best home records in the Premier League as well. In fact, their home record is pretty much, incredible, except for against the top four teams. And we're the 16th best team. So let's see what happens. And if you're not already, I'm sure most of you are, but if you're not already, please do make sure you subscribe to Chris's YouTube channel. It's at Chris Cowlin. He is, as I always say, the Don of Tottenham Hotspur content, just getting so much content out for you. And he will be back, or at least the Spurs Chat podcast, his regular after-match podcast, will be back this afternoon at 5 o'clock, hosted by Craig Dearman, and he will be joined by Darren Altman, Cy the Fox, and Terry Kim. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But before that, we've got the watch along with me. Straight after the game, I'll do an instant match reaction, and then we will have the fan show where fans from all over the world will be calling in to say how they felt about the game. And talk about other Spurs stuff too. And if you want to get involved in a future fan show, you can do by emailing tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. That's tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. And those of you who are regulars will know that for a long time I was asking you to vote for the Spurs Chat podcast in the Sports Podcast Awards. And this week it was announced that the Spurs Chat podcast, Chris's podcast, has won the Gold Award. So really well done. And everybody who's been a part of that regular podcast, really impressive stuff. Amazing. And congratulate yourselves. Anyone who voted, thank you so much. I know Chris is really, ecstatic about that and grateful, more importantly. Okay, let's get on to the team news. And look, I'm going to bring up the lineup. So it's Kinski, Porro, Archie Gray, Ben Davis, and Jed Spence at the back. Bissouma and Bentancur with Deki Kulusevski in the kind of 8-10 role. And then Mikey Moore, I think, on the right, with Sonny on the left, and Richarlison up front. The bench, Austin, Reguilon, Hardy, Casanova, Sarr. Bergvall gets a rest. Olusesi, Ajayi, and Dane Scarlett, fresh after scoring his first goal for the club. The Brentford team, Valdemarson, Aya, Collins, Vandenberg, Lewis Potter, Norgard, Janelt, Damsgaard, Schade, Mbuemo, and Visser. Pretty lethal front line. A lot of goals between them. And also some reports over the last week or so that Tottenham have Visser on their list of players they're interested in. But I doubt very much whether he would come to Spurs this January. But as I mentioned, obviously, we have our first signing, Kevin Danso, loan with an obligation to sign for around £20 million in the summer. But also, apparently, definitely going hard for Disasi from Chelsea. A lot of my family are Chelsea fans. I've asked them about him. They said that he's all right on the ball, but he's pretty raw, basically. I mean, it's obviously something in him that Ange likes the look of. I mean, we haven't dealt with Chelsea for a transfer properly for a long time, other than, I think, picking up Carlo Cudicini from them on a free transfer. So I'm not sure if that'll happen. I know Aston Villa are pushing for him as well. Let me know in the comments what you think. If we're going for another centre half as well as Danso, does that for you mean that potentially there's something wrong with Mickey van der Ven? Or maybe even Ange has talked, hasn't he, about how QT Romera's injury is a slow burn. Maybe that's kind of worse than we thought as well. Obviously, it's been overall, I'd say, a pretty embarrassing weekend, Friday to now, for Tottenham in the transfer window. What amazes me, I was talking to my friend Buzz about it yesterday, who's also a Spurs fan. The modern day way of doing transfers is that you speak to the players' advisors first, you get the kind of thumbs up as to whether the player wants to come to you, and then you speak to the club. Whereas in the last few days, seemingly, if reports from the reputable journalists like David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano are to be believed, are that Tottenham have agreed deals with clubs. So, for instance, Matthias Tell at Bayern Munich, we agreed a deal with the club, and then Daniel Levy flew out to Munich to try and persuade the player, and the player then says no. And then seemingly the same happened with Fikayo Tomori at AC Milan, the ex-Chelsea player. We've agreed a deal with the club. AC Milan want to sell him. And then the player says no and is either hoping to stay at Milan or hoping to stay at Bayern Munich in Tell's case, or waiting for another seemingly better option, dare I say it, an option who aren't 16th in the Premier League to come along. Whereas with Danso, the difference is he was going to go to Wolves, and then Tottenham came in at the last minute and gazumped Wolves, and he chose Tottenham over Wolves, which I guess is, a likely situation. So they're just showing Daniel Levy in the crowd there at Brentford, actually next to, as ever, Donna Cullen. Who knows? He's getting so much flack at the moment, Daniel Levy. I do feel like he needs to come up with something tomorrow that is going to excite the fans. Like, it's all well and good getting in a £20 million defender. He looks, I don't know anything about Kevin Danso. I'm not going to pretend. His stats look okay. I think he counts as homegrown because he grew up in the MK Dons Academy, so that's a positive. But I mean, who knows? It's not a signing. I mean, let me know how you feel in the comments, but it's not a signing that is going to send shockwaves of excitement through the club. And I think with the amount of stick that Levy's getting at the moment, he needs to do something in the next 24 hours or so. Otherwise, he's going to get mega pelters, and they're already organizing more protests and stuff, aren't they? Anyway, let's get into this team today. Like I said, Mikey Moore starts, I think, on the right today. I actually prefer Mikey Moore on the right. But some fans I know think he's much better on the left. But in my, recollection of him playing his best football, that was against Ferencvaros, coming in off the right, coming narrow and driving into the box. I thought he was good in the first 20 minutes or so the other night, doing similar. Whereas at Crystal Palace away and other games where I've seen him start on the left, it seems to me like he kind of comes to the ball and his instinct is just to give it straight back to whoever he's got it from, rather than trying to turn the man from the left-hand side more. So let's see what happens with that. Obviously, a bit of a rest for Lucas Bergvall. I'm pleased about that. I love having Deki Kulusevski in the 10. I think that's where he can be his most creative. And also, even when he plays in that kind of 8-10 role, he still kind of comes out to the right-hand side a lot anyway. Going with the double pivot today of Bissouma and Bentancur. Now, some fans over the last year, 18 months have been saying, longer maybe, have been saying that they can't really play together, but we need them to build a partnership. We need them to bring some solidity to this team. And in a game against a Brentford side who are very, very good at home, we really need them to come through and protect that back line, which, let's face it, Spence out of position, Davis out of position. Well, Dave's not out of position, but, he's only been a centre-back in a 4 for the last couple of years. Sure, he's played centre-back in a 3 under Conte and in a 3 for Wales. But, it's only the last few years he's been centre-back in a 4. Gray out of position, Spence out of position, like I said. So they need some protection. Some good news. We're down now only to 9 injuries. We're less than 10, I think, officially, if live score are to be believed. However, Dragusin is rumoured to be out for the rest of the season. That knee hyperextension does look like a ligament injury. So that's bad news. Some more bad news. Obviously, our record this season after Europa League Thursday nights is appalling. And last time we were away from home after a Europa League game, if I'm right, was us being 3-0 down against Everton at half time. The players are out on the pitch now. I'll get into the comments just briefly, guys. Dino Payne says, glad we didn't go for Rashford. He's a twit. The next Sturridge. I don't know. I thought Rashford might have been good for Spurs. I thought Ange could have maybe put a arm around his shoulder, but maybe he likes the fact that geographically, obviously Villa are in the Champions League as well, but maybe he likes the fact that geographically he won't have to move as far, if at all. GGGG says, big up Buzz. Buzzy, if you're watching, there you go. Everyone loving you. Let's see what else we got. Gardu, less to excite fans, more to understand what's needed and set things up to operate effectively for purpose instead of trying to be the be and end all of every operational iota of the club. Okay, Cantab says, happy birthday, Lucas Bergvall. Bido James says, defeat is unthinkable today. Come on, you Spurs. I'm not sure if it's unthinkable. I think it's, unwantable, but I think it's very possible, but we'll see. There is a big sun shadow on a couple of parts of this pitch. Inevitably, I will be on delay, won't I? I'll try and work out what that delay is a little bit later on. And we've kicked off, guys. Spurs kicking from left to right. We're in our light blue kit, and Brentford go long with their first kick out from the keeper. Be interesting to see what kind of game Brentford try and play. A lot of stuff into the channels, I would have thought. Mikey Moore has started on the right. Good early challenge from Pedro Porro there, just going through the ball. Okay, so it looks like I'm only about 20 seconds behind, so that's not too bad. William P says, will be hard to get any points here, but come on, you Spurs, always. Gardy says that comment was about Levy, by the way, Barnaby. Yeah, I get it. Good man. I think they've got on Sky Alan Smith as the co-commentator, which those of you who watch this regularly with me will know really frustrates me because he's ex-Arsenal. And I also just think he's not very good at co-commentary. Oh, apparently I'm about 1 minute 30 behind. Okay. Well, I will try and do the manual controls then. Brentford just running down the channel on the right now. Oh, yeah, that's right. 1 minute 20 behind. Okay. Okay, that clock should be level now. So I'm level up with the game on the clock on the screen, guys. Brentford have a throw on the right. They're going to try and get a cross in here, I would have thought. Or Richarlison presses, but doesn't quite get there. And now Brentford with a big up and under towards the edge of the box. They win the first ball easily, and then Basuma wins the second one. Porro tries to clear it, but kind of 50p's it. And now they've got men in the box, Brentford. Chance here. Big chance, Brentford. Another big chance, and it's blocked at the near post. Spurs, not great defending there. Mikey Moore tries to bring it out, but he loses it out wide to Damsgaard. But Porro helps him out. And now Spurs have to... Mikey Moore kept the ball on, and it's a chance for Mikey Moore to break here. Can he play inside? It's a bit of a bad ball to Richarlison, but Spurs keep the ball in halfway. And this is Spurs' first opportunity to get their foot on the ball, really. Ben Davis plays it to Archie Gray. It is a bit of an awkward sun in the eyes of the Spurs backline. And, of course, the keeper in the first half, as Davis plays a ball out wide towards Mikey Moore, but he's easily beaten. And Pedro Porro was a little bit off it there, and Bentancur has to help him out in central midfield. Porro didn't really read there that Mikey Moore was very unlikely to win the aerial ball. And Porro was just too far stood away from him, I thought. But anyway, Brentford now have the ball at centre-back. Rishi working hard on the press. Sonny trying to help him out. And Brentford go for the long ball over the top, and that's going to come through to Kinski. Yeah, the Spurs players are struggling with the sun here a little bit. Davis plays a good ball inside to Basuma, who then puts Spence in a bit of trouble. Who goes back to Davis. He's going to have to go long. That's a throw into Spurs. Groucho says, not professional this, way behind the stream. Sorry, mate, I can only work on the equipment that I have. Apologies. Feel free to pause your stream so that you're level with me. But obviously, you know, I can't force you. Nearly 1,000 of you watching at the moment, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure you press that like button and subscribe to Chris's channel at Chris Cowlin. Spurs playing the ball around. Comes back to Kinski, who's pressed. So he goes to Archie Gray. He gives him good positioning here. And now Brentford sitting off Archie Gray a little bit. And he goes inside to Bentancur, who's got space in the midfield now to run into. He's looking for an option. So he comes right to Porro, who's got Mikey Moore outside him, but he tries to play down the channel, actually, Porro. That was good effort. It's blocked out, but that was good from Spurs. And they press, and then just give away a foul, trying to win the ball back. Dino Payne says, Porro's decision-making and anticipation, not great. Good athlete, though. He's just knackered, though, isn't he? He's had to play every single minute. Ben Davis wins the ball well there. And now Spence driving through midfield. Fantastic from Jed Spence. Keep going, Jed. He lays it off. I think he could have kept it, but Decky now on the ball. Spence gives him a run down the line. Decky goes across the box. Oh, I tell you what. Decky had a cross shot with his right foot. And Richarlison nearly diving in at the back post, nearly got on the end of it. Oh. And Rishi is angry at himself for not, I think, predicting what would happen there. He nearly got on the end of it, wasn't quite able to. As Bentancur wins a good header back to Bissouma, and Bissouma has to be strong, and he is. Now he's done the hard part. Now do the easy part, Biss. And he does. He lays it off to Mikey Moore. He's got a man at his back, so has to go back to Pedro Porro. But that was good from Bissouma there. When he's at his best, Bissouma, he reminds me of Dembele. He's strong enough like that, but it's just his concentration levels and how regularly he does the hard part and then gives it away. Here he is on the ball again. Goes back to Archie Gray. Drives forward towards the halfway line. 6 minutes gone now, still 0-0. And Gray goes outside him to Porro. Sorry, it's Mikey Moore, not Porro. And now it comes across again to Ben Davis, who's got Spence outside him. That was a wonderful drive from Spence that set that up, by the way. And Sonny loses it, but it comes back to Ben Davis. Archie Gray. Oh, he's being booed, Archie Gray, of course, because he was about to go to Brentford. And then Spurs came in for him, so he came to Spurs instead. Oh, and he just gets caught on the ball there, and Spurs win a throw-in. Great footballer, Archie Gray, for his age. Unbelievable. Porro with a throw-in. He goes short to Mikey Moore, gives it back to him. And Spurs, trying to play it around, puts Archie Gray in a difficult position. It's going to be another throw for Spurs. I think the issue with what pundits talk about with Spurs and Ange being unwilling to change at the moment isn't about him tweaking how, you know, how we throw men forward. I think it's more about how often we get caught on the ball kind of playing out from our own box. That's the thing that we're still just regularly doing. And that's the thing where I feel like our injuries stop us from being good at it, basically. And we've been caught already a couple of times. It's just a straight long ball over the top here behind us. They're in here, Brentford. And it's blocked at the near post. And it shouldn't be that easy. Just a long ball over the top here. Yeah, Spurs keep... Well, he was offside as well. Corner to Brentford. That was some good coaching there from Thomas Frank and Brentford. Basically, when its keeper's got the ball at his feet, they know that Spurs are going to hold their high line on the halfway line. So he's saying he's keeping, I think it's Mbuemo up, or it might be Wissa up, like offside. So Spurs leave him, but then they get deep runners. Anyway, here comes the corner. It's to the back post. Spurs win the first one to the edge of the box. That was good defending. Spurs having to get out now. And now they're going to play the big cross to the far post. Porro and Rishi are there. Richarlison in a good position there. Good lad. He's got Kulusevski has won that. And now he comes down the line, Decky. Good strength. Now give it easy, Deck. He's not. He's still going down the line. And he plays it outside. Beautiful ball down the line. But Mikey Moore is not blessed with pace, unfortunately. And the Brentford player gets it back to the keeper, who goes long. Porro does well. Picks it up and finds Ben Davies. Yeah, if Mikey Moore had another yard of pace, my God, what a player he'd be. Bentancur now. Goes down the line to Porro. And Porro's going with an early cross. It's cleared the first one by Brentford. And Decky's trying to get hold of the ball, and he does. He gets his body in the way, but then he's tackled, unfortunately. Porro now pressing. Oh, and the ref's given a soft free kick there. Ten minutes gone. Half decent start from Spurs here. They're in the game. As Brentford go long again. Over the top of Spence, but he deals with it really well and heads it to Bentancur. He's got a man pressing him from behind. Goes to Bissouma, who goes down the line to Sonny. Back to Spence. Oh, and Spence tried to play a ball into the channel, and I think it might have even hit his own man. Now Brentford have it. And they go for a ball over the top. Good stuff from Gray, though. Gets in ahead of Mbuemo, and Spurs have it now. Bissouma to Spence. Puts his foot on the ball and comes back. That was good stuff from Archie Gray. Bentancur now. Goes out wide to Porro, who goes down the line to Mikey Moore. He's got Decky Kulusevski with him. Decky holds it up. Goes back to Porro, and it comes across again. Spurs' last 7 Premier League results graphic. Lost 6 of them. Scribble Scrabble angry at Bissouma for some reason. I better be careful about looking in the comments because I'm so far behind. Archie Gray now on the ball. Porro. To Gray. And I saw someone say, oops, to Kinski. So what happens here? Oh, he gives it to Bissouma, who goes back to Kinski. Oh. Oof. And he's kicked it away. And Brentford have the ball here outside the box. There's Bissouma and Kinski. Now there's going to be a chance for a cross. Spence standing up, but he gets to the byline. It's a good cross. Oh, and they should score. And I'll tell you what, that's actually really excellent defending in the end. It's given as a goal kick, but Porro did really well. And again, Spurs not really marking the back post, but Porro, to be fair to him, got narrow and puts the player off, and the header goes over the bar. Great ball from Kinski there, though. Oh, nearly some lovely stuff between Richarlison and Son. And Bissouma lays it out to Kulusevski. And Sonny's narrow here. Back to Kulusevski. Back with Archie Gray. So that was the first probably really good chance there for Brentford. And it came from kind of Kinski just getting the ball stuck under his own feet and then trying to play a difficult ball into Bissouma, who wasn't really ready for it. And Brentford then got a cross in and a headed chance in the 6-yard box. And Porro put him under enough pressure where he headed it over the bar. In fact, he headed it onto Porro's head, really, I think. Kulusevski trying to play an interesting ball into Richarlison there, but it's blocked off. Oh, and Spurs give away another foul. Spurs, I'd say, fortunate to get away with that first one. It's actually the Brentford keeper who's got the sun in his eyes here, rather than Kinski. Alan Smith on CoCom's being asked about his knowledge of whether goalkeepers should wear caps or not. Okay. Heavy touch from Brentford down the line. Kulusevski gets a challenge and goes off for throw. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let's get a chat going in the comments. What do you think of Thomas Frank? You like him as a manager? Would he be somebody on your list for one of the next managers at Spurs at some point? Brentford play it well down the line there. And they go for that again. Then Porro manages to keep the ball on and then heads it back to Gray. Bit of a risky one from Porro there, but what a surprise he does it and we get away with it. 69% possession for Spurs at the moment. Ben Davies down the line. Good ball inside. Oh, lovely first time ball around the corner. I think it was from Son towards Jed Spence. Nearly worked as well, but it's gone off for throw. Spence throws it. He's so laid back, Jed Spence. You can see why Antonio Conte didn't like him. Spence now driving down the line. Brings it back. Good stuff from Jed. Oh, and tries to play it inside to Son. It didn't quite work, but I like that. Brentford able to clear it over the top of Ben Davies, who unfortunately isn't able to clear it first time. And Brentford are in down the right now. And they've got a chance at the back post here. Porro's got his body back in position. Stand up, Decky. Or Decky nearly gave away a penalty, but he did well not to. And then Spurs get enough bodies around. And Decky then makes a mistake and loses it. And that should be a foul, but it's not. And now we're on the break, actually. Kulusevski is going to look for Sonny, who's just not on his toes. Anyway, comes back to Spurs in midfield with Bentancur. Spurs are playing all right here. They don't look tired yet. It's not a basketball game at the moment, which I think will suit Spurs' levels of fatigue. It's quite slow-paced. And we look quite comfortable on the ball, but we are giving up some half chances and transitions, but you'd expect that. The crowd, after 15 minutes, have been quietened down. Mikey Moore has to turn away, getting men around him every time he gets on it. So it comes back to Archie Gray, who plays a lovely ball inside to Jed Spence, who takes it on the half turn. What a good player Jed Spence is. And he tries to, with the outside of his boot, play Richarlison in the middle. And I don't mind him trying it, but he put too much on it. It goes through to the keeper. But his taking the ball on the half turn, magnificent. Really good to have Jed Spence back. Let's keep him fit. Brentford now calling Spurs out of the press. Porro's a bit late on it. Mikey Moore now. Here we go. He's made him turn here. This is dangerous for Brentford. And Bentancur wins it. He goes into Decky. Comes out to Bissouma. He's on the edge of the box here, Bissouma. Oh, lovely little ball. And then that's Son. No, it's Mikey Moore who couldn't get it down, unfortunately. That was good stuff from Spurs. Won it high. And then Ben Davies all the way gives what I would call a good professional foul away on Damsgaard. Brentford complaining because they know that centre-back was well out of position. He was almost up at the 18-yard box, at the opposition 18-yard box, and he had to give away a foul. $1,100 of you watching now, guys. Thanks so much for your support. Do give this video a like on YouTube if you haven't already. Thank you so much. As Brentford now play it back to their keeper. And Spurs putting the high press on. Kulusevski working hard, as ever, with his 8 lungs. Brentford forced to go mid-range ball down the line. Bissouma wins a header. Second header from Son, but it's won by Brentford, and they go down the line again. Oh, and a lovely ball inside midfield. Ben Davies has blocked a through ball really well there. Oof, a bit of a dodgy ball from Jed Spence. Archie Gray under pressure. And that should be a Spurs throw. Yeah, it is. And Wissa doing that thing that modern day footballers do, which I think is really shit, where they give it the old, oh, come on, fans, more loudness. Like, no, you have to. Those of you who watch me regularly, you know I'll bang on about this, showing my age, but it's up to the players to get the fans up with the football, not by waving your arms around. Anyway, Jed Spence now with a throw. He's looking for options. Goes short to Bissouma, gets it back, Jed Spence. Now comes back to Ben Davies. He's looking for an option, and he's tackled. And then Son doesn't get the first ball. Jed Spence, he did okay, but it bounced to Brentford. Now they play a big ball over the top, into the box now at the back stick. Chance here, Brentford. Sharda, oh, he was too strong for Porro, but Archie Gray with a massively important block. Poor from Porro, to be honest. Porro fronting him up, and he's just not strong enough in a one-on-one, and Archie Gray helps him out blocking the shot. Brentford now have it on their halfway line. They're making the better of the half chances, I'd say. Mikey Moore trying to press their centre half. It comes out wide left. And they just think there's a bus-shaped hole down the middle of the Spurs defence. And in the end, Jed Spence does well. But why is that hole there? And then Bissouma's tried something mad down the line. And he's lost out. Like, honestly, literally, you could have got 2 double-decker buses through the hole in the middle of the Tottenham defence there. Great stuff from Decker using his strength there. And he comes down the right. Holds the ball up well. Gives it into Bentancur. Nice stuff. Goes to Porro. Might try the big switch here, Porro. Yeah, he does. Spence has got it. Spence gives it out wide to Son and then carries on his run. Get outside him, Jed. Yeah, he's going outside him now, Jed Spence. Son gives it to Jed Spence. Crossing chance for Richarlison. Chance to Mikey Moore. Lays it back. Decky. Oh, and he couldn't get it from out under his feet. That was so weird. And now Brentford are on a transition. Porro working hard. Oh, does well, Porro. Gets a foot in. Really important. Twice, but then he's beaten. And now it's starting to get a bit basketball-y as Brentford find their way to the right-hand channel. But Sonny does well. So it was a great little cross from Spence. Richarlison then doesn't get it, and then Decky does have a shot and it's blocked. But that was good down the left between Son and Spence. Brentford have the ball on the right-hand side. Damsgaard. They bring it across to the left now. Spurs just trying to push them up a bit. They chip it over the top of Mikey Moore. And then Porro gives it away. And now they're on the edge of the box here. Son came across, but there's a chance for a shot. No, real chance on the... Oh, dear. There's Mbuemo on the right now. He dinks it to the far post. Chance! And I'll tell you what, Porro did well again, but Mikey Moore then took an air shot, so Brentford have it again. Now they try an early cross to the back posts. And that's a good clearance from Ben Davis. Comes to Mbuemo now. He's driving towards the box at Jed Spence. Another cross comes in the box. Ben Davis does well. But Brentford able to recycle it. And they're going to find a way for another cross in. It's another good one. It flicked at the near post and it's just wide from Wissa. Oh, Archie Gray now back to Kinski, who has to go long. Richarlison easily out-jumped. Then Brentford knock it over the top into a channel. Ben Davis is out there. Oh, yeah, he tried to clear it, and it's picked up by Damsgaard. Brentford getting some momentum here, but tried a bit of a difficult ball through, and Davis is able to find Kulusevski, but gets it stuck under his feet, and Bentancur had to help him out. Now Porro going for something long. Not sure, just disappointing. But Richarlison putting Lewis Potter under pressure, who dealt with it really well. I think there were just some times on the pitch. I think it was Porro there just tried a paradise long ball. And actually, we'd been under pressure for a little bit of time, and it would have benefited us to just put our foot on the ball for a few seconds. Sonny there helping his back line. Does well, but then gives it away. And Bentancur does brilliantly. Gets the ball back for Spurs and then gets it back off Ben Davis. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This might be a good opportunity for Spurs to put their foot on the ball a little bit here. And that's what Bentancur's doing. Turns away, goes back to Ben Davis. Jed Spence goes into that inverted position. Comes to Bissouma. And back to Bentancur. He goes to Porro, who underhits it to Archie Gray. So he goes first time across to Ben Davis. Who goes down the middle. Beautiful. Bentancur's got so much space down the middle now. And he lays it to Jed Spence. He's going to have a shot, Jed Spence, and it's blocked. But that was good football from Spurs. Comes out wide to Mikey Moore now. Comes onto his left foot. And it's a good cross to the back post. Oh, nearly found Rishi, but didn't. And Porro has a dig. It's miles over. So Moore just cut in onto his left foot, unchallenged, and just dinks a beautiful cross to the far post. It's well defended. Yeah, and just Alan Smith there saying Richarlison needs to be getting ahead of his defender there. I don't think he really expected Moore to do that cross, so hopefully he'll be more ready for it next time. Another long ball from Brentford. Flicked on. Archie Gray deals with it well, gives it inside to Bentancur, who gives it to Bissouma, who gives it back to Bentancur. He's had a good start to this game, and then he tries a chip over the top towards Richarlison, who didn't really see it in the mix of the sun and the shade there, and it goes straight through to the keeper. And again, maybe just another example of where I'd like Spurs. The better stuff that Spurs have been doing has been getting it to the final third with a slower build-up and then getting a cross in or getting the fullback outside the wide forward. So a little bit of impatience there from Bentancur, but anyway. Lewis Potter there tries the big first-time ball. That's really good tactics from Brentford there. They found a way into the left-hand channel now. They're just driving towards the byline here. Oh, no. Oh, beautiful turn on the edge of the box there, but Archie Gray deals with it well and hacks it up towards Richarlison, who gets his body in a good position, and he's fouled. Good stuff there from Richarlison back to goal, letting Spurs keep it for a little bit. Deki Kulusevski just doing his lace up there, while Ben Davies is on the ball. Comes across to Archie Gray. 26 minutes gone, guys, and Archie Gray now tries the long ball over the top. And it's just easily dealt with by Brentford. I'm not sure about that. We keep trying to do that. Porro does well on the right, keeps it on. Comes to Ben Davies. Must be a tactic, that ball over the top of the fullback on the right-hand side, as Davies drives forward and gives it into Mikey Moore on the right. He's driving towards the box now, plays it into Decky, who's got to hold it. He does. But then he's looked tired the last few weeks, Decky, because that was just a poor decision, I think. And now Brentford are on the transition, and they chip it over the top of Spence. He should be offside here. Mbeumo. He gets his shot off in the end. Straight down Kinski's throat. Did the flag go up? It looked like he was offside to me. And Spurs go for the long ball over the top again. But this time, at least Richarlison gets the second one. And now Sonny has the ball in his kind of favoured position on the left-hand side. Lays it back to Mikey Moore. Goes back to Son. He's going to have a dig here, Sonny. Oh, and he didn't get hold of it. It comes to Bissouma. And he has a shot, and it's deflected over the bar. Yeah, they're just showing the replay of the Mbeumo run down the right. And actually, I don't think he was offside. I think Spurs' line wasn't all together. Anyway, here's a corner for Spurs. Son is in the keeper's eyes. Bissouma is trying to block the keeper. And it would not surprise me at all if Bissouma gave away a free kick here. Did something stupid. Here comes the in-swinger. It's a goal. Looks like an own goal. I'll tell you what. I had to go at Bissouma, but he literally, with the sun in the keeper's eyes, he's just standing on the keeper. It might have gone straight in from Sonny's second, what do they call this? An Olympico. But I said, the sun is in the keeper's eyes, and it's a beautiful delivery from Sonny, and really nobody makes a challenge. Like, Bissouma is just standing there more than anything. Does it hit the keeper's head and go in? No, it's an own goal in the end. The number 21 in front, and he grabs his head last minute, hoping to get a foul. But Bissouma's literally just standing there. No, it hits his back. Ange puts his fists up. He likes that. Well, we don't score many from set pieces, do we? So we'll definitely take that, guys. I'll tell you one of the reasons I'm not massively excited, because we were 1-0 up against Leicester, weren't we? So, you know, let's see what happens. But I do think Spurs have started this game okay. I like the more, you know, slight more solidity in front of the back four from Bissouma and Bentancur together. Although there was, of course, that one time where there was a huge gap down the middle of the pitch again. But anyway, Spurs are 1-0 up. Oh, and Jed Spence does beautifully. Oh, and then Sonny. Spurs were properly in then, and then Sonny just took the wrong decision. And now Brentford have a chance to cross it, and it's a corner to Brentford. Bissouma blocked the cross. Now, what would be the most Spurs thing to happen straight after you've scored a goal? 1,500 of you nearly watching this, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Press that like button. Do subscribe to Chris's channel and also my channel down in the bottom left-hand corner there at Barnaby Slater _ for daily transfer news, always starting with Tottenham, of course. Brentford now with the corner. And Buemo's taking it. It's going to be an in-swinger. Starts out wide. Good clearance from Ben Davis. Love that from Ben. And Mikey Moore just putting some pressure on all the way up the pitch, so they have to go to the keeper. And he chips it long. Oh, bad defending from Spurs, but Bentancur in the end helps out. And we clear it up to the halfway line where Mikey Moore has to come back onside, and now Brentford have it. And the Spurs fans enjoying this at the moment. Well, Brentford in down the right-hand side, and a cross comes in. And in the end, the linesman gives a goal kick, actually. I've just jumped ahead a bit of time there. Let's see. 31:09, 31:53. Okay, so I'm a bit further ahead than I was. I'll just change the clock. Well, Brentford have the ball again down the right-hand side. An easy chance for a cross here. Don't know what Spurs are doing, but Davis clears it at the front post. Comes back to Damsgaard. Gets another cross in. It's cleared by Archie Gray this time. They're in the box again here, Brentford. Oh, in the end, it's good defending, but it bounces out again. Good save, Kinski. Palms it away, and Bissouma gets it out for a corner. It's straight at him. Come on, Spurs, you need to stay strong in this moment just after you've scored here. It's going to be another corner whipped in towards Antonin Kinski. In fact, they go short this time, and it brings it off to the edge of the box. And now the cross comes in towards the back post, and Brentford have loads of men there. But Bentancur wins the second header. But they've still got it, Brentford. And they chip it over the top of Archie Gray, gets a head on it. Sonny gets a second one on it, but just takes it back out towards the left-hand channel. And Brentford recycle it and bring it backwards towards their halfway line and into their back line. They've still got lots of men forward, though. Oh, but Richarlison does really well there. Oh, I tell you what. Richarlison did really well to get a foot in. Oh, he's lost it, unfortunately, there. But and he's won it again, Richarlison. Great stuff from Rishi. Brilliant strength. And Spurs are in down the left now with Decky. Mikey Moore's ahead of him. Plays it to Moore. He's got to hit it first time. Now he's pushed off the ball. He was just lightweight there, Mikey Moore. Such a shame, but brilliant work from Richarlison in the midfield. I mean, Mikey Moore does just get pushed in the back there, but if you're not giving it on the pitch, you're not getting it. Good stuff in there from Bentancur. Finds Kulusevski. And Porro tries a ball down the channel. Kulusevski's going to put the Fullback under pressure, and he goes back to the keeper. Decky's not really pressing him hard. That penalty situation was one where anywhere else on the pitch it would be given as a foul. Like that's a perfect example. Jed Spence just on, challenging someone in the back. Somewhere else on the pitch is given as a free kick, where it's not really a free kick. Whereas in the box, Richarlison really lucky there that he didn't get sent off, because as he was battling really hard, his foot comes up after he wins the ball, and he's just very fortunate it did not connect with Brian Mbumo, because that would have been a sending off. What he wasn't doing on purpose. He was just like over exuberant, if anything, but very fortunate there. Brentford now working their way again into the left-hand channel, as they will know that they just need to get crosses in, because Spurs concede so many goals from crosses. Lewis Potter now gets it back to Damsgaard. And here comes the cross to the back post. Flicked on. Another good chance for Brentford. Goes wide. .36th minute gone. So 36 minutes gone, sorry, as Kinski goes long on. Son gets a touch on it. And now there are 3 up for Spurs here. Rishi's got it. Goes to Son on his left. Brentford are getting men back, but Sonny's driving into the box. He has a shot. It's blocked. I feel like everyone knew what was going to happen there. Bissouma, though. Spurs have the ball still. Archie Gray finds Pedro Porro. He comes out wide right to Mikey Moore. Comes in narrow. Gets into Decky. Good first touch play. He's got a chance here, Decky. Crosses it across the box, but nobody was there. Oh. Where was Richarlison? We needed him in the middle of the 6-yard box there, because Rishi, he could have shot, but he didn't. The keeper came out to him. He's only about 6 yards out, but on the angle, and he cuts it back, just thinking surely someone will be in the middle of the box, but nobody was. Great stuff between Mikey Moore and Decky Kulusevski. It's another corner from where we scored. Here it comes from Sonny. And the Brentford defender is throwing himself to the floor. It's Janelt, knowing that they're having trouble with the sun. Well, it's him and Bissouma just wrestling, basically, actually. Yeah. I did say before the last one, Bissouma will probably do something stupid. He just did it there. Basically, him and Janelt wrestling each other. Just if I'm Bissouma, I'm like, just let Janelt wrestle you, because he might end up giving away a penalty. 38 minutes gone. Yeah, Bissouma's doing an impression of what Janelt's doing to him to the referee, which is probably quite funny, but also a bit stupid. So here we go again. It was Janelt actually who the own goal went off the first one, so that's why he's panicking so much. Bissouma's backing into him, which is kind of pointless. Just stay where you are. Stay where you are, Bissouma. It's just embarrassing, this. Here comes the corner, finally. It's flicked at the near post by Decky. Over the bar. Decky wins it at the near post, and he just kind of 50p heads it. Long goal kick from Brentford into the 40th minute here. And Bentancur brings it down well. Gives it into Bissouma, who first time beautifully finds Decky. That was good from Biss. Decky goes down the line to Mikey Moore, who holds it up well and comes back to Pedro Porro, who comes across to Gray, but they're all being pressed here. So he goes across to Davis, a bit of a dodgy one, but does well and finds Jed Spence, who now has space because of that press. And Jed's driving down the left, gives it into Sonny, and Jed carries on his run. Oh, but Sonny doesn't find him, and has to come back to Bentancur. But he's got Bissouma inside him. Can you take it on the half turn? Yes, he does. And now he's driving towards the box. Might have a dig here, Bissouma, and he does. It's a good effort. Well saved by the keeper down to his right. Oh, and Mbeumo does really well now, and Brentford driving at Spurs. And that's a booking for Sonny, who takes the professional foul. You don't see that much from Sonny, but that's good work from him. Because Brentford were breaking through. It was a good little back flick. Good work from Sonny. I don't mind that. That's the kind of stuff that the top teams too, we did do. That's what we did brilliantly under Pochettino. You take your booking when you have to. That's his first booking of the season as well for Sonny. It was in the half, just into Spurs' half. And now Brentford are going to kind of play this long. So Spurs keeping a high defensive line, about 26 yards out, maybe a bit less. Going to play a big long ball to the back post here. Yeah, here it comes. They've got 3 men around. Richarlison's trying to get involved, but it's an easy first header for Brentford. Flicked on, and then Bentancur tries to clear it. Rishi gets involved. Decky Moore trying to kick the ball down there. He's fouled, but Moore's not getting many fouls here because he's not deemed to be as big as everyone else, basically. And then Richarlison has a foul given against him, even though he didn't connect with anyone, just for sliding on the ground. And now this is a dangerous area for Brentford. I don't understand this. So Moore's pushed off the ball. And then Richarlison slides in. He didn't connect with anyone. How can it be a free kick if you don't touch anyone? And this is, oh God, it's a free cross for Brentford from the left-hand side. Spurs keeping their line on about 19 yards here. We're into the 42nd minute. I think he's the ref's given that free kick almost for Richarlison putting the Brentford player off by sliding in, but he pulled out of the challenge. Doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway. Yeah, it's going to be one swinging away from the keeper here. And Mbeumo, it's a good delivery. Here comes Kinski, gets a good punch on it. Good lad. And it comes to Jed Spence actually on the left. He goes down the line to Kulusevski. He's got to hold this up. He does. He needs options. And he goes backwards to Archie Gray. Good stuff from Kinski there. Really good. Spurs go long over the top again, which they shouldn't, but Sonny does well, manages to get a foot on it, and Spurs keep the ball. Bissouma now in the midfield. Goes to Archie Gray. Comes across to Ben Davis, who's got, I think it's Rishi down the line there. And Rishi goes around the corner to Spence. Beautiful stuff between Spence and Rishi's in down the left. There's no one in the box, though. And he got a touch, and then he went down, Richarlison. And I don't think he's ever going to get that, to be honest. But Jed Spence worked his nuts off to get the ball back for Spurs. Beautiful stuff. Spence is such a good player. Anyway, here's Sonny down the left now. He doesn't want to drive at his fullback. Obviously rates his fullback more than the one he did on Thursday night for Elfsborg. Mikey Moore on the right now. Now he is driving at his man, but he's easily dispossessed. Norgard very brave in his own box there. And Brentford playing some good stuff in their own half, brave stuff anyway. In their own penalty box, sorry. Richarlison trying to work hard, but Damsgaard gets ahead of him. Okay, we're into the last minute before added time of the first half. Brentford have the ball on the halfway line. They're just popping it about as they do. Comes around to the right back. Yeah, they've swapped their forwards around, and Mbeumo's now playing on the left-hand side. Bishada on the right. Going to find out how much added time there is soon. Comes all the way to the left now. Lewis Hall. Oh, and they're in down the left with Mbeumo now at the byline. Again, great defending from Archie Gray. I'm just showing it's a good tackle there. The one on Richarlison. It was never ever a penalty. So it's going to be a corner for Brentford, an in-swinger from Damsgaard. We're into added time now, of which there are 2 added minutes. And the ref again having to be Mr. Big Bollocks. Just because he didn't have the ball in the quadrant, Damsgaard. Here comes the in-swinger. Oh, it's a good cross. Oh, tell you what. It's well defended at the front post. Sonny claiming that it should be a goal kick. Vandenberg got across the near post. It was a very dangerous corner. But it's going to be another one for Damsgaard. Referee quite clear that a Spurs player... He's got it outside the quadrant again, Damsgaard. Here they go again. It's another good delivery. First one cleared. Big chance on the edge of the box. Oh, brilliant headed block from Richarlison. Amazing bravery from Rishi. And he's back up, Rishi. Good lad. It's going to be a long throw from Brentford. Here it comes. It's a high one. Oh, it's flicked on and well cleared from Porro. Brentford win the next one and Rishi up for another header. And they do well, Spurs. And Rishi now plays one over the top to Sonny. And he's got Decky with him. Son now driving towards the box. Just it holds up a little bit. And now Brentford have got bodies back. But this is good for Spurs because it's going to be the last play of the half. So can they make something happen? Comes out wide to Pedro Porro. Get your cross in, Pedro. He does. But it's cleared by Brentford and that's half time. And that's a good half for Tottenham Hotspur. So, Tottenham in the lead at half-time in a Premier League game away from home. Not something I feel like I've said for quite a while. Was it away at Southampton that we won that game 5-0 against them? Maybe that was the last time. I'm just going to say this. I said it after the first kind of 10, 15 minutes. I actually think Spurs are playing all right today. They're playing away, and maybe it's mainly because of this double pivot of Bentancur and Bissouma being able to play together. But there's just a little bit more control and a little bit more shape, and the game isn't quite as basketball-y and back and forth. And yeah, we're doing all right. And I guess very importantly, we haven't had any injuries yet. I wouldn't say there's going to be a great deal to talk about in the minute by minute, but I'll give it to you anyway. Second minute, there was some pinball in the box, which there's been quite a lot of on both sides. A lot of shots being blocked throughout that half. But some pinball in the box in the second minute led to a block shot for Brentford. The person just off the top of my head who's been blocking, so many crosses and shots for Spurs is Archie Gray, who's had a brilliant half again. He's such a great footballer on the ball, but also he just knows the game. He reads the game. He gets his body in the right position. Fifth minute, wonderful driving run from Jed Spence led to a cross shot on the right from Kulusevski. And Richarlison didn't quite predict that was going to be a cross shot from Kulusevski's right. And in the end, he slides in to try and notch it in, tap it in at the far post, but it just evades his slide. But that was the first of many good bits of work from Jed Spence on the left that led to that chance. 7th minute, long ball from the keeper, from Brentford's keeper, beat all of our defenders and ended up with another cross blocked by Archie Gray. 11th minute was a bit of a harrowing moment. Kinski kind of, and I've said this about Kinski, I really like him, but there will be mistakes and it will lead to goals, but I think his play will protect us from more goals than it will end up having scored against us. But he got the ball just stuck under his feet quickly, and then he tries to play quite a difficult ball around their pressing striker, and Bissouma didn't read it. And that led to a cross and a headed chance that went over the bar. And in fact, it was Pedro Porro who did well to put the striker under pressure. for it to go over the bar. It may even have hit Pedro Porro's head, but the referee gave a goal kick. Made a note of 15 minutes that Spurs had done well to quieten the crowd down and that Spurs were doing okay here. 18th minute, some poor one-on-one defending from Porro, where they kind of as the wide forward kind of took him on, Porro just was in a 50-50 and he wasn't strong enough, and that led to a shot that again Archie Gray blocked really well. 20th minute, some good football from Spurs down the left between Sonny and Spence. A good cross from Spence. That there was a little half chance for Richarlison, but he couldn't get across his man. And a couple of ricochets, and then it came to Decky just inside the box. He gets his shot off, but it's blocked. 22nd minute, some continuous crosses from Brentford. You know that Brentford, just as every team does, they know that Spurs concede a lot of goals from crosses, so they're trying to get as many crosses in as they can. And there was just a build-up of pressure around the 22nd minute, continuous crosses, and it ended with a header over and wide from Wissa. As you can see, I'm saying sometimes Wissa and sometimes Vissa. I don't know which one it is. Let me know in the comments. 24th, great cross from Mikey Moore. Nearly found Richarlison at the back post. And actually, Richarlison, I think, should have busted his gut to get across his defender. And maybe it's just because he's not played many games that hadn't crossed his mind, or he wasn't expecting maybe Mikey Moore to come onto his left foot. He's so naturally both-footed, Mikey Moore. His cross with his left foot cutting in was beautiful. And when Solanke's back, or when Richarlison is a little bit more attuned, crosses like that will bring goals for Tottenham Hotspur this season. 27th minute, an Mbeumo run down the right-hand channel. He cut inside and shot straight at Kinski. And then straight away up the other end, a Tottenham shot from Bissouma was deflected over a corner. And it was that corner that led to the only goal of the game so far, an own goal by Janelt. And Bissouma was getting his body in the way of the keeper, and the sun was in the keeper's eyes. So that worked really well for us. But of course, in the second half, we'll have that issue with corners from that side as well. The sun will be in Kinski's eyes. So it'll be interesting to see if he can deal with it better than their keeper did. Kinski's been good, other than that little mistake with the ball at his feet. He's punched away a free kick once. It was very impressive. 32nd minute, some more pressure from Brentford led to a shot that was well palmed away from Kinski. It kind of went straight at him, but he did well to get it a long way away, so it didn't get an easy rebound. 34th minute, great work from Richarlison midfield led to a break and a chance from Mikey Moore, who was pushed in the back in the box. Nothing was given on the field. This has happened a couple of times, and this is what happens with young players quite a lot. Because they're a little bit more lightweight. I'm not saying that Moore is lightweight in general. I think for his age, he's actually quite a big kid. He's quite stocky, but he's a little bit light on his feet. And so it was a push in the back. It would have been given as a foul anywhere else on the pitch, probably. But because it was in the box, it wasn't. There's a higher threshold, which there shouldn't be. And VAR are never going to overturn it when it's not been given on the field. Back in the start of that, it started that move that led to a run in the channel from Mikey Moore with some good, hard tenacity in midfield from Richarlison up against a couple of players. But he slid in at one point and he got the ball, but his foot kind of goes over the ball. He's very fortunate not to connect with, I think it was Mbeumo's leg, because he would have been sent off because his studs were up. 36th minute, more crosses from Brentford, a flicked header wide from Schade, and then up the other end, Sonny had a shot blocked. 37th minute, this was another great chance for Spurs. Decky Kulusevski got in down the right. He's kind of 6 yards out, and the keeper's come out to block what he thinks will be a shot. So Kulusevski cuts it back, and it's right in the middle of the 6-yard box. But Richarlison and nobody was there. And I hate to say it, but I think Harry Kane probably would have been there. But that was great stuff between Mikey Moore and Decky Kulusevski to make it. And I said it before the game, I'll say it again. I love Mikey Moore on the right. I really do. I think he's good. He drives narrow there, and he's finding some good passes into Kulusevski's feet. 42nd minute was when that great front punch from a free kick from Kinski came. I've just made a note here that Spurs today are playing kind of more long kind of balls, attempting to get players in over the top than they usually do. And a lot of them are kind of meat and drink to the Brentford back line. But a couple of times, Spurs have managed to pick up the second ball from that with Son or Richarlison. So, maybe it's working. I'm not sure. 43rd minute, amazing stuff down the left again. Jed Spence and Richarlison this time, and it led to a dive in the box from Richarlison, but the defender did get his foot on the ball. Made a note just to say that Spence is doing really well. 45th minute, more great defending from Archie Gray. And Mbeumo got to the byline, and his cross just blocked beautifully by Gray for a corner. And then just the last thing that happened in the first half, a big shot. I think it was from Mbeumo inside the box. He really gets hold of it on the volley. And Richarlison, just so brave, gets his head and it goes out for a throw-in. But that one was flying towards goal. So good stuff from Spurs. There have been some kind of half chances and headed chances for Brentford. And Spurs have got in some half-decent positions. But so far, I'm enjoying the tempo of this game for Spurs, especially after a Thursday night European game. I think it suits us that it's not so quick and back and forth like a lot of our games are. The question is, though, as we know, Tottenham have been ahead in a number of games. And I think actually, ironically, Brentford and Spurs are at the top of the table when it comes to clubs having lost points from winning positions this season. Can Tottenham do what so many clubs have done to Spurs this season and find a way to kind of slow this game down, make it quite bitty? It goes against what Ange likes, doesn't it? Let's face it. But if they could do that, and if they could frustrate Brentford and frustrate the crowd, then they will get chances on the break, Spurs. And that is kind of what I hope happens. But what I obviously, number one, hope doesn't happen is what happened against Leicester, where we're 1-0 up at the break. We concede straight away in the second half and then concede straight away again. Because if that does happen and Brentford go up, you know they will make the game bitty. They'll keep playing long balls. We won't be able to get any rhythm. And we would lose in that instance, quite frankly. Okay, guys, that's been my minute-by-minute rundown. Thank you so much for your support. Nearly 2,000 of you watching. If you're on YouTube, please do press that like button. Get your comments into anything you want to talk about, any questions, get them into the comments box. I'm going to go through some of those now. Enjoying that game. Yusu Dolph says, need more movement in the middle. Spence is doing great also. Yeah, I think Jed Spence, what a player he is. Really brilliant player. I mean, frankly, if we hadn't already given him a new contract this season, I'd be saying, give the boy a new contract. G, good to see you, mate. I'll be speaking to you later, I'm sure. Says, Rishi, again, strong up front and in defence. Yeah, totally agree. Hansy G says, we never get penalties. I don't think, I mean, I guess the Mikey Moore push, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, it would have been soft, I think. Like I said, you know, you don't really get those, especially if you're kind of a younger up-and-coming player who's a little, you know, less strong than a kind of chiseled, experienced pro. But let's hope we do get a penalty. I'd love that. Although Sonny, I think, missed our last penalty, didn't he? Sean says, which Spurs will come out after the break? Very good question. Tarzan says, first 10 minutes vitally important. Completely agree. Hansy G says, the kids just need to stay focused. That would be good. I agree. That would be really good. TSOM, with the squad we have available, we're playing the only way we can. We can't press with a high line. Yeah, I mean, there was that one occasion, wasn't there, where the Brentford keeper just hit it long and it went straight over our high line. So we are still playing the high line. It's just maybe not quite as aggressive, and the tempo isn't quite as high in this game. So that's making a difference, I think. Cinewaves says, Sonny's legs have gone. To be fair, he's just not got that burst ability. Well, I think he just picks and chooses, doesn't he? Because he was beating his man for fun on Thursday night. But maybe he just really realised early in that game that was a bad fullback. Scott Rozelle says, too often our attackers are weak in the penalty box. Phil C, Spence is playing out of his skin, an example of what a good rest can do. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. Rubayet says, hi Barnaby, how do you rate our new signing, Danso? Do you think there will be more signings as tomorrow the window closes? Well, listen, I'll be honest with you. I would be lying if I said I knew much about Kevin Danso. I don't. I'm sure I've just seen most of the things that you've seen, kind of YouTube compilation, some stats stuff. Ange has come out today and says he's excited, he's a good player, and he gives us more depth. You know, the only signing recently I'd say that felt a little odd in terms of his ability to play in the system and the style of play is Dragusin, but Dragusin is a good box defender, and it looks like Danso's probably a good box defender as well, but his stats on the ball are better than Dragusin's, that's for sure. So, you know, let's see what happens. Do I think, in answer to your question, do I think there'll be another signing? I said it at the top of this show. I feel like Levy has to pull out a signing that's going to excite the fan base today or tomorrow. But whether he can do that or not, I do not know. I think the reality is it's hitting home. Not a lot of players that we want to come to a team languishing in 16th in the league, even though we are still in all the cup competitions. So, you know, we just got to face facts that right now Aston Villa have jumped well ahead of us, not just because they're in the Champions League, but they are a more tantalising option for players moving, like Rashford going there. You know, Villa was relegated a few years ago. Like, it's a surprise, but they're doing great under Emery. So who knows? TSOM says Danso is aggressive and quick. He's a solid addition. Vito Dani says Dragusin is a young defender, plenty of time to develop. I agree. And it's a nasty looking injury he's got. Hansi G says we need a forward. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Obviously, you know, they went for Kolo Muani. Kolo Muani scored 2 for Juventus today. And they went for Matthias Tell. One thing I do want to say about Matthias Tell, he's definitely a talent. Of course he is. And he'll probably end up at Man United, I guess. But he's only started, if this is right from what I heard, he's only started 8 senior games. Starting 8 senior games in the Bundesliga. So 50 million for a player with that lacking experience is a lot of money. So, let's see what happens. Phil C says Danzo will suit Ange Ball, used to playing the high line defensive channels and is composed on the ball. Quality signing. Well, I hope you're right, mate. Also, I read that he's played a lot in a 3, so it might take him a while to get used to playing in a 2. Dark B says, can we get some academy heroes off the bench again today? God, I'd love it. If they can come on and just score in every game, that would be really fantastic. Look, I'm enjoying this game so far. I said it early on. It felt like we're putting in a good performance today, and it's a tempo that suits us. But now we have to take this forward to the second half. And imagine if we could, I don't want to hex it, but imagine if we could get a win today going into that Liverpool game, just to bring some more momentum into that. That would be amazing. But let's see what happens. Okay. Scott Rizal says, Tell would not have been worth 50 million if he didn't want Spurs. Sorry, I've just flicked the wrong one there. Apologies. And our Carabao Cup second leg is on Thursday. So another Thursday, Sunday this week. But presumably after that, should be a bit of a break for the Thursday, Sundays. I guess depending on how we do next weekend in the Villa game. Scribble Scrabble says, would like to see Scarlett come on for Son at 70 minutes. Lucas Bergvall is coming on. Let's have a look. Who will that be for? It's his 19th birthday today, Lucas Bergvall. I wonder who he's coming on for. Oh, God, I hope that's, let me have a think about it. I really hope that's for, like keeping people's, minutes monitored, as was the comment about Van der Ven. If that's the case, then will it be for Kulusevski or Son, maybe? I think it would be particularly brave to take off Kulusevski right now, but who knows? Who knows? This is an interesting point from Scott. Ange and Alistair Gold were finally proven wrong that our academy players weren't ready for first team. Listen, to be honest, mate, it was an amazing night on Thursday night, and it was brilliant. But they came on against very tired legs of a team who didn't look very good. So I don't think we can make any kind of cast iron decisions on those players. But it was a great run from Dane Scarlett for the goal. Great, bit of striking play and really good stuff from Ajayi as well. And obviously, Mikey Moore's starting. Is it Kulusevski? Let's have a look. Players just in the tunnel. Oh, God. Brentford, the only team to have lost every game when they're behind at half-time this season. You know why I'm laughing, don't you? Because I'm a Spurs fan. You know what that means. Ange just having a word with Bergvall on the side of the pitch as they get ready to make this change. So it's Mikey Moore who's come off for Bergvall. So that means Decky will go to the right. Well, I thought Mikey Moore did okay. So I don't know about what's going on there. Brentford have scored more than any other team at home this season, apparently. And Spurs kicking from right to left this half. Like I said, Kinski will have the sun in his eyes. It's a bit of a confusing sun. This goes directly across the pitch, but that is the kickoff. Come on, Spurs. Got to be concentrated. We've suffered from lack of concentration in key moments during games this season, and this is a key moment right now as Decky tries to get the ball down, but his touch is too heavy, and Damsgaard gets it and is able to play it straight away into the channel. And Buemo now running at Jed Spence, who's showing him the line, and Buemo comes inside and then falls over and manages to find his teammate, but Spurs have bodies back. Jed Spence did well there, but it was a bit easy for Buemo to get down the channel, to be totally honest with you, so early in the second half. But you've got to expect that Brentford will come out kind of all guns blazing at the beginning of this half. Yeah, they've scored 2 more goals than anyone else at home this season, Brentford, and Spurs are the second, two goals less. Good tackle from Basuma there. They want to foul Brentford, but they're not getting it. Oh, and some tight play. Oh, Basuma's lost it now. He's lost it. Like I said, he did the hard work, but then, thankfully, a Brentford player lost it as well, and the ball comes back to Kinski, who's going to kick it long. That's a perfect example of Basuma for me. He'd done the hard work, as Kulusevski goes down too easily out wide there. Get up, Decky. He'd done the hard work. Oh, now a foul out on the left, and Porro says he didn't touch him. Yeah, Basuma had done the hard work, and then just he turns off. I'm sorry to keep saying it because it sounds like I've got a problem with him. I like him as a player, but that is what's stopping him, Basuma, from going to the proper next level where he could become a player that the Spurs fans would absolutely love if he could get anywhere near the levels of Moussa Dembele. He's got the skills. He's got the skills and he's got the strength. Anyway, this is a free kick now, and Brentford are going to put this into the box. It's wide on the left-hand side as Brentford look at it. Spurs again holding their high line about 23, 24 yards out. I'm pretty sure Brentford will hit this to the back stick, and 3 players will go up against Archie Gray at the back stick here to then try and head it across the box and see if they can make a chance. It's Spence and Archie Gray at the back post. See, it comes more centrally. It's cleared first. And now Bentancur's pressing, but here comes the cross. It's a deep cross. Nobody at the back post, but Damsgaard can't keep it on. That's a goal kick to Spurs. And now, obviously, they're doing the whole thing. Should Kinski be wearing a cap? Commentators love this shit. The ball goes early to Ben Davis, who goes wide to Jed Spence, who goes down the line to Sonny, turns it round the corner to Richarlison, but he's beaten, unfortunately. And Brentford win the ball back. But you can see what Spurs were trying to do down the line there. Comes back to the Brentford keeper, who's drawing the press from Richarlison, and then goes for the long one over the top of Porro. He's easily beaten in the air there, Porro. But then a poor ball into Sharda, and Brentford give away a goal, a throw-in, sorry. 48 minutes gone. Throw goes short to Basuma. Porro goes down the line, but gives it away. Now Brentford have the ball with their centre-half. Comes across. And Aya goes down the line into the channel over Jed Spence. And Spence uses his strength. And it's a throw into Spurs, and he takes it quickly to Ben Davis. He needs an option here. He's not blessed with options. Bergvall goes back to Kinski. And Kinski might have to go long here, and he does with his left foot. They're pressing him a bit harder here. Brentford easily win that and flick it on. Bentancur gets ahead. They're in down the right here. And Mbeumo, chance. Crosses it when maybe he should have shot, and Bentancur does great. And then gives it away. Oh. And then Spence with a massive tackle, and it bounces to Richarlison, who gives it to Son. Richarlison's pushed off the ball, so Sonny runs down the line. He's on his own here, Sonny. Shouldn't go narrow because there's no one there. Still keeping it, Sonny. Does well. Held it up really well. Chance for Sonny here, maybe. Oh, and Sonny just trying to do it all on his own. He shouldn't. Could have easily played an easy ball there. Comes to Kinski, who plays a good ball to Ben Davis. Spurs giving it away in midfield again. Brentford are working hard to press into Spurs players at the moment. 50 minutes gone. Son still blowing a little bit after that run. Damsgaard, lovely touch on the right, and finds Mbeumo inside. And they're in down the left here, and this is danger for Spurs. We know it's danger down the left. Comes inside, Sharda. Oh, tell you what, he tries to chip it to the back post, Sharda, and it would have been a free header, but he gets too much on it. Brentford have put in 18 crosses in this game so far. Good flick on from Rishi. Oh, but the defender gets ahead of Son. Oh, and then the defender drives through Bergvall in midfield, and they're in down the left again here. Schade. But Decky helps out, and he has to go backwards. And here comes a big crossfield ball. Yeah, to Mbeumo. And now cross is going to come in towards the back stick. Oh, good defending from Porro, but it's still in the box. And he volleys it over the bar. So it comes to the right with Mbeumo over the top of Spence's head. Mbeumo goes back, and then it's the first time cross that Spurs struggle with. And I tell you what, they're trying to have a go at Kinski here, but he got an important hand on it. Because otherwise it would have been a goal for sure. Anyway, it's a throw into Spurs on the right now, but Brentford really pressing Spurs in at the moment. Bergvall and Basuma giving it away down the left. Tottenham have not started this half well, I have to say. Brentford putting the pressure on a little bit here. They've got runners down the left as well. Kulusevski, you've got to help him here. And here comes a cross again. Flicked at the near post. And it should be 1-1. Wissa misses a great chance, only 3 yards out. And it comes from another cross from the left. Oh, yeah. And he's just on the half volley. I think he hits the bar, does he? Oh, it's just over the bar. And this is where I have to say, again, we've seen it so much this season. When Spurs are under the cosh and adversity starts to set in, we just make mistakes and we give away chances. And we just need to put our foot on the ball for a few minutes here because we've not started this half well and Brentford have got their tails up. It was another cross that came in. Spence on the left now being pressed very hard. And that goes off for a Spurs throw. I think Sky are trying to engineer a penalty from a few minutes ago against Porro, I think, for when the ball was like deflected onto him. Richarlison, they're fouled in the back, but of course he doesn't get it. Come on, Spurs. Get the ball down. Bad ball into midfield from Brentford. And Decky Kulusevski's in down the right, but he's on his wrong side. He's got to bash it. Side netting. Yeah, he should have gone across the goal, but he didn't. That was a good chance for Spurs. He was in the inside right channel. Brentford go long with their goal kick, as they have been all day. And Porro is out jumped, and Archie Gray has to go for the seconds. That will be a Brentford throw, and they're looking to do it quick. Brentford have the ball down again. Yeah, 53% of all the action's been in Spurs' half this half so far as Mbeumo runs at Spence. Son is with him. So he lays it backwards. And really what Brentford are doing on both sides is just trying to maneuver the ball into positions where they can get crosses in. First time crosses ideally. And as they move them around now to the left-hand side. And Decky has got to help his mate out here. And he is, but he's kind of slowly defending rather than anything else. They get it out wide to the left again here. And here comes the next cross. Kinski, are you there? Yes, he is. Good take from Kinski with the sun in his eyes. And Kinski goes with one of his long flat balls over the top. Rishi tries to flick it on, but it's easily won by Brentford. It comes back to the Brentford keeper. Oh, another bit of a brave ball from Brentford, but they keep it. They do well. Bissouma working hard. Brilliant from Bissouma. Now give it. You've done the hard bit. Then he gives it away. He won the ball back, done the hard bit, and then he gives it away. And Brentford now in down the left. And Decky's got to keep working here because they've got 2 on Porro here again. You've got to keep working, Decky, and he does. He gets back, so they have to go backwards. Oh, Bissouma. Anyway, the ball comes across to the right now, and they're going to be looking to get a cross in from this side. And Buemo, he's driving at Jed Spence again. Is he going to go to the byline? No, he comes back, and here comes the first time cross. First one is cleared by Ben Davis. And here we come now to the right again. And Buemo goes for the early cross this time, and it's blocked by Spence for a throw-in. He's just on his haunches a bit there, Spence, but keep your eye on the ball, Jed. You're playing well. Keep your eye on the ball, Jed. Come on. It's going to be a long throw from Brentford. They know that Spurs do not love it up them, to use a phrase from the olden days. Obviously, the sun's in the keeper's eyes as well, but he's trying to boss his defenders around Kinski here. Here comes the long throw. It's flicked. No, it's well cleared. It comes to the edge of the box. Sharda. Good pressure from Richarlison there. Stops the first time cross. And now Bentancur puts a bit of a press on as well. And now the cross comes over towards Porro again. And it's flicked on for Wissa. And now they're going to get a cross in. Here it comes. And it's cleared from Spurs. And can Rishi hold it up? No, he can't, unfortunately, because there was a chance for a break there. And it comes to the left again. They're looking for foul, but Bergvall does well. But it breaks really fortunately. Oh, Spurs. We're going to goal kick. That was a bit of bad luck for Tottenham there, where it just broke to Brentford down and got them into the byline, really, from a tackle from Bergvall. And they had a man free at the near post. And in the end, Ben Davis put enough pressure on him, so he kicks it out for a goal kick. Kinski has to go long again. Brentford's press is working at the moment. Bergvall does well in there. Bissouma gets a good touch, and now Bentancur can put his foot on it. Bringing it forward. Find an easy ball here. Bentancur does. Bergvall in the little left half space to Sonny out wide left. Bergvall could try and get outside him here. It doesn't. And it comes inside to Bentancur, and Spurs able to put their foot on the ball a little bit. Bissouma comes to Jed Spence. Plays it across to Archie Gray. Goes out wide right with Decky. First touch brings him back. This is the first time in a while that Spurs have been able to put their foot on it a little bit in midfield. Bentancur into Decky. He wanted to try the big cross there, but I'm glad he didn't, because Brentford are in shape. Archie Gray now. He dinks one over the top. Porro does well and finds Decky, whose first touch was a bit weird, but he's still got it. Can he find Bergvall? He can. Bergvall, can he get a shot off? He does. Oh my God, it's just wide. Oh. He went for the bottom right-hand corner, and that would have been such a brilliant goal. Great stuff on the right between Decky and Porro. And it's on his left foot. Oh, it's just wide. Spurs putting the press on Brentford here. Oh, and they dealt with it really well. Some good 1- and 2-touch stuff gets them out. Very good from Brentford. But then a poor ball, but lucky it comes back to him. And they're in down the left here, and Bentancur gives away a foul. Maybe he had to, but they got lucky with a couple of deflections there, but they made their own luck because they were very brave down that side. And this will be a good chance to get another cross in the box for Brentford. 60 minutes gone now. Oh, God. How much would I have loved that Bergvall shot to just sneak inside the post? That would have been amazing. Instead, another free kick for Brentford. Spurs keeping their line around about the 12-yard box now on this one, because this free kick is Out wide, but pretty close in. Yeah, it's about, 23 yards, 24 yards out, but out wide. Spurs with a two-man wall. And the sun's going to be in Kinski's eyes here. Here it comes. Oh, and the ref's blown up. Oh, the ref's now calling two players to him. All game he's been like this, the ref. Spurs fans trying to keep them strong, chanting. They're going to whip this ball in. And Bruno did it, but it's a bad delivery. There's a chance on the edge of the box for Damsgaard, and it's deflected wide for a corner. This is going to be an in-swinging corner. This is exactly the corner that Spurs scored from. Brentford have a lot of men on the edge of the box who are going to make late runs, though. They've got Norgard, is it, on the keeper. Here comes the in-swinger. There's a lot of height on it. Oh, it comes to the back post. And Archie Gray kind of had his body there, but didn't know whether he could challenge or not. But anyway, it's cleared to the halfway line. Only Decky up there for Spurs. And so here comes Mbuemo down the right. He's going to run him, is he? He does run him. Jed Spence is kind of offering him the line, and Jed Spence does really well. And that's a Brentford throw. Jed thought it might be a Spurs throw, but just give it back, Jed. Yeah, Alan Smith just saying Jed Spence has played well. And obviously Brentford are going to go with the long throw here. Man United losing at home to Crystal Palace at the moment. Blimey. They really struggle in those games, but they sometimes get late goals. Anyway, the long throw goes early actually now. Chance for quite a free cross here towards the back post. It's not a great delivery though. Bissouma tries a back heel there, which was a bit mental, but Richarlison cuts in. That's a foul. Rishi did really well there. That really alleviates some pressure on Spurs. He just saw an opportunity to sprint to the ball and just gets his body in the way and goes down. Good lad. "63 minutes gone." Stressful, this game. 2,000 of you watching now, though, guys. Thank you so much for the support. Press the like button as Ben Davis goes back to Kinski. And make sure you subscribe to both Chris's channel and my channel. Oh, Kinski wasn't sure whether to go long or short there. And in the end, he goes to Gray. And they're putting the pressure on him quite hard this half. But he finds Ben Davis on the left. Now he goes with a mid-range ball into midfield into Richarlison. Beautiful stuff. Oh, and then Mbuemo gets ahead of Jed Spence. It should be a Spurs throw, but they've not given it to Spurs. And Brentford now have the ball in their back line. That's a shame. That was good attempted stuff from Spurs down the left there. It's definitely been a better performance from Spurs. Their best performance in the Premier League for quite a while today, sorry. Brentford trying to beat the press here with Damsgaard. And he does it. Turns it round the corner. And it's good football from Brentford. But Bissouma gets a huge touch in. Oh, but then we've given it away. Ben Davis dived in brilliantly. And then Bissouma should be a foul. And then Bergvall he tried the pirouette and he's lost it. And now they're in down the left. That was an important minute there, or a few seconds. If that had come off for Bergvall, we would have been in. But instead, Brentford have the ball now in the Spurs half. And they get it out wide to Mbuemo. He's going to show Spence going to show him down the line again. And he gets it down the line, but there's a man there. And the cross is blocked by Ben Davis for a corner. 65 minutes gone. Brentford making a substitution. Janelt going off. I don't mind that because I had a feeling that he might score at both ends. Matthias Jensen coming on, the number 8. This is going to be an in-swinging left-footed corner from Brian Mbuemo. Sun in the eyes of the keeper from both ends up this end. It's quite impressive, isn't it? Here it comes. Height on it. Good clearance from Bergvall. I love how good Bergvall is in the air. Long shot comes in. Brentford get it on the edge of their box, but then Bentancur just gets it down the channel. Good lad. And Kulusevski can get this down. Can he hold it up? He needs to hold this up. Does well. Now what can he find? He finds Sonny down the middle. He needs to get it out under his feet. Gets it out of his feet to Rishi on the left. He's in the inside left position. Brentford have got bodies back, and Richarlison trying to take it narrow. Loses the ball. That's poor from Rishi. Maybe getting a bit leggy because he hasn't played many minutes. And Bissouma does well there. And Brentford win a throw-in down the right. Spurs about to make a change. Pape Matar is going to come on. Need Pape Sarr to have full energy now. Bissouma coming off for Sarr. I think we'll need Bissouma in that Liverpool game at Anfield on Thursday, so I don't mind that. But we need your legs here, Pape, and we need good performance the last 23 minutes. And Buemo, just Brentford playing it down the right-hand side and then moving it across again. They bring it out wide left now. And they're in down the left a little bit here, in behind us a bit. Here comes a cross, does it? No, he brings it back. They're looking again to try and find a way to get a first-time cross in or just a late cross. Here comes Jensen with a long shot. It's miles over the bar. Very brave from the sub. He was about 40 yards out, I'd say. Maybe 38 yards out. That must be... He doesn't look happy, Thomas Frank, but you would have thought if he's going to have a shot from that far, it's because the boss has said, you know, get some shots in on that keeper because the sun's in his eyes. Speaking of which, now Kinski goes long up towards Rishi, presumably. No, it's Son, but Brentford win it easily. A good press, but the bit of luck for Brentford in midfield, and they play it through. And Rishi is having to work hard, but he can't keep up with Wissa, who gets a good cross in. Big chance here. Porro does brilliantly there. And Sarr flicks on the next one. Porro come narrow, which he always does, which is why there's always a free one at the back post, but the ball thankfully came to him, and he did really well in the air there, Pedro. Brentford still have it, though, in midfield now. The Spurs press is not really happening now, I think it's fair to say. Buemo on the right. Going to lay it back. But it comes back to Buemo, and there's a runner down the line for him. It doesn't go, though. Comes back again. And again down the line. And here is the ball to the line. And Sarr's got to stop the cross here. And he flicks it off for a corner. "30 crosses from Brentford in this game so far. It'll be another in-swinging corner from Mbeumo. This is a real old-school Premier League match so far. Set piece after set piece. Brentford just playing so direct today. Do they always play as direct as this? Anyway, it's going to be an in-swinger from Mbeumo. Here it is. I can't even see it. It's gone all the way over the top. And Bentancur saw it, and he challenges, and he's trying to let it go out for a goal kick. He does brilliantly. Great little battle there between Norgard, I think it was, and Bentancur, showing his strength. Well, we need Bentancur to stay fit for the rest of this season, that is for sure. Okay, 70 minutes gone. 30 crosses in this game from Brentford, 6 from Spurs. Kinski again goes long. Not really playing as much football this half. Kulusevski nearly flicked that on. And Bentancur gets it down. Gives it short to Bergvall, who needs options. Goes back to Bentancur, who goes to Porro, who goes down the line to Richarlison. It's a beautiful ball. Rishi's in the channel here. His first touch isn't great, though. And in the end, he tries a little cross while sliding on the floor, and it goes straight through to the keeper. Rishi looks leggy at this point, to say the least. What have we got? Dane Scarlett, I guess, potentially, to come on. I doubt that'll happen. Son has not been in this half, in the game this half, as Brentford try one over the top of Spence into the channel. And great strength from Jed Spence, just pushes Mbeumo off the ball. Kind of half in the knowledge that after the pen we didn't get in the first half against Mikey Moore, there's no way the pen can be given for that. And Spence plays a good ball into Bentancur, who has to be strong here. Oh, and he tried to play to Richarlison and he couldn't. And then the second one from Bentancur is brilliant. Richarlison's got space in midfield now. And he's so leggy that he couldn't take it forward himself. So he goes to Porro on the right. But Spurs have the ball. Porro tries to play a stupid fucking ball into Kulusevski. And now we've lost it. And they're in. Over the top of Jed Spence. He's got to use some pace here, Jed. And he does. And he finds it back to Kinski. That's one of those paradise balls from Porro that he doesn't need to try. Really frustrating. Kinski now in our own box to Ben Davis. Plays it inside to Sarr, who's not great technically, so he has to turn to Jed Spence in a difficult position. Spurs just going to have to go long here, and Davis does. Chips it down into the channel. Rishi has to hold this up. Does. Gives it to Son. And his move was telegraphed there, Son. Oh, come on, ref. And Richarlison ends up kicking it off for a throw, but it was just obstruction on the floor there from the Brentford player. Literally just puts his body on the floor. He's got cramp. Poor reffing there, from my opinion. 2,200 of you watching this game now with me, so, guys. Thank you so much. Please do press like on YouTube. And the Spurs player has gone down now. And I don't mind that, actually, if it's a little bit of professional going down. That's what happens against us all the time. It's Bentancur going down with, looks like a bit of cramp as well. He's not played a lot of games, so I'm not kind of surprised. Brentford about to make another change. Bringing on a new signing. Know what that means. Script time. Script time. 73 minutes gone. The time is going slowly, it's fair to say. Brentford take the throw backwards. Bring it across again. When Spurs, we're so rarely getting the ball that when we get it, I think we need to just put our foot on it rather than play, paradise potential through balls like we just attempted to play to a man. We've got no pace in the front line, so don't try and play balls in behind, basically, unless, they're miles ahead of the opposition. Long ball now from Brentford over the top down the middle. It's a good run. Archie Gray's in a good position, but stand up, Jed. Jed gets it out for a corner. There's Wissa there doing the channel running. I remember watching Wissa and Mbeumo for Brentford at the Spurs Stadium a few years ago. Just the endless running of the channel. They've done a short corner quickly there, Brentford. Comes back to Mbeumo. Crosses deflected. Richarlison wins it, but I think he could have got that down, but he doesn't. And Ben Davis is out of position here. And they get a cross in. He's not in the middle here, Ben Davis. They win the first header. And then Spence wins the second one. We're just on the edge of Spurs' box here, and it comes over the top to the right-hand side. Comes to Mbeumo. He goes backwards again, but Richarlison's in a good position, stopping the first time cross there. They come down the line here, and that's a good tackle, but it breaks to Brentford again. Damsgaard. They're again just trying to maneuver the ball to get across, and they've got 4 men at the back towards the back post. They know that that's where Spurs are dangerous, and it comes over Spence's head, wins the first one, and then a shank of a shot from Mbeumo goes out for a throw-in. And that gives Spurs a little bit of respite. It's a throw-in. Substitute for Brentford here. Is it Damsgaard going off? No. Aya going off for Coyote, their new signing. There's the script. The fans love getting a new player on the pitch. He's come from Fiorentina. Spurs have a throw. They're being pressed high. So they're in their own kind of right-hand corner. With Pedro Porro going to throw it long down the line, I guess. Richarlison's wrong side, and so Brentford win it very easily. And Bergvall was wrong side as well. And that's an easy ball into midfield. And they're in down the right here. Jed's got to try and stop the cross. He can't. Ben Davis does at the front post. And that is another corner for Brentford. Good defending from Ben Davis. It's going to be another in-swinger from Mbeumo. Again, they're making late runs. Here it comes. I can't really see it. The Spurs have cleared the first one. Comes to Jensen and Mbeumo, and now Jensen will get his cross in. Oh, he takes a good touch, and it's a good cross, but it's cleared by Pape Matar Sarr, and it's going to be a throw-in, and probably another long throw, I would have thought. I guess Spurs don't really have a lot on the bench in terms of experience. And the new kid here has got a long throw by the looks of things. Here it comes. Oh, it is long. And it's the first header goes straight into Kinski's arms and he dives on the floor with it. I don't mind that. 77 minutes gone. Not a lot going on in this game other than just endless long balls. Spurs have kind of stopped playing their football, really. Nobody's kind of giving Kinski options when he's got it at his feet, which I'm not sure Ange will be delighted about. Rishi there tries to flick on the first ball, but he loses it. Bergvall then gets fouled. Good touch from Bergvall round the corner. Wins himself a foul. And chance for Spurs to put their foot on the ball in the Brentford half. So Scarlett is coming on for Rishi. And at least he will press. Can he do a Harry Kane after his first goal in Europe? Rishi's pretending not to see. Classic Richarlison. Such a shithouse. He's worked hard today, Rishi. He's still, not got many minutes in his legs. And he's walking off slowly, which has happened to us so many times in these positions this season. So, like I've said enough times in my videos this season, we have to learn how to play like these teams who just make games bitty and don't allow opposition teams to get rhythm. And that's what Spurs are attempting to do in this game. And it's a very difficult away game. There's 12 minutes to go. And Scarlett will now come on and will press the back line. But I just don't think Kulusevski or Son will be able to join the press with him, really. So might be a little bit pointless. But Dane will have some confidence. If we can make a chance for him, he'll have confidence after his great header at the weekend. So free kick to Spurs. It's about 10, 15 yards inside the Brentford half. And of course, we go backwards. And I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up going, well, actually, Archie Gray just tries to dink it over to Kulusevski and just Spurs lose it so easily. We're just playing the way they're playing at the moment. Good win from Sarr, heads one over, and Scarlett's putting the centre-back under pressure. It looked weirdly like Scarlett was trying to handball it there. But anyway, he presses the Brentford centre-back there. And Bentancur gets a foot in. And just that press from Scarlett enabled a bit more pressure on the passing from Brentford. But they've got out this time, and Bergvall's caught ahead of the ball, and they break forward down the left-hand side. Kulusevski has got to go with the fullback there, and he does so and goes out for throw-in. "48 clearances from Spurs in this game so far, only 7 from Brentford, so it's been a backs-to-the-wall effort, to say the least. And it's going to be another long throw from the new guy. It's time from the other side. Tempted to get Dane Scarlett back there, to be honest, as well. Sun's really in Kinski's eyes here. Here it comes into the box. First one headed by Spurs, comes to the edge of the box and volleyed over from Lewis Potter. 10 minutes left of normal time. Am I just too much of a Spurs fan because I just think I cannot see us seeing this out, but it's been a really strong effort from Spurs. But interestingly, we've just completely stopped playing our football, not really trying to play it out the back at all today anymore. Just going long, and that's why we're not really getting any of the ball. Yeah, Kinski just going long with his kicks. Wasting a bit of time there, which we've learnt off all the other teams who've done it against us. Bentancur does quite well there, but then Sonny's out-jumped. Sarr heads it down the line. Oh, a bit of pressure on the back line here. Comes back to the keeper, and he has to go into midfield. And we won the first ball, but then Porro plays a really weird ball. Bentancur comes across brilliantly. Oh, brilliant from Rodrigo. Brilliant. Finds Bergvall, who turns away and then gives a good ball to Jed Spence, who does brilliantly as well. And Spurs being pressed but keeping the ball. But Spence now does really well to find Pape Matar Sarr, who goes back to Ben Davies, who comes across to Archie Gray. Come on, put the foot on the ball. They're pressing high, so there should be gaps here. Oh, I'll tell you what, Ben Davies just gave Rodrigo Bentancur a bit of a difficult one, so he has to go back to Kinski. And now Kinski just going long every single time. Son didn't really challenge for that one. Spence, can you find Spence here, Pape? Good football from Spurs. Spence finds Bergvall. Slightly going backwards and sideways every time we get the ball here, Spurs, because they're pressed. But Bergvall now sees a gap, gives it to Spence. Spurs putting their foot on it, and it comes across the back line again. Archie Gray now, who plays a long ball over the top towards Decky. It's a beautiful ball. Kulusevski's not had his best game, and he lost it, but the keeper has to go long. And Archie Gray's just bumped there. Brentford have done well to find it out wide right, and they've got a runner here. Brilliant from Jed Spence. Brilliant from Jed Spence. Oh, and Pape Sarr does well there as well. Now give it easy, Pape. And he does. He puts it ahead of Sonny down the left, who holds it up. 82nd minute. So we're just... Oh, what are you doing, Pape? What are you doing? Gone backwards here. Ben Davies under pressure. He's fouled, but not given. Jed Spence down the line. Now chance for him to run into a gap here, Jed Spence. And he's fouled, but he's kept it. And Sonny's in down the left here. Drive at your man, Sonny. Drive at your man. Yes. Get it across the box somehow. And that should be a corner to Spurs. That's better. That is better. And take your time over this corner. Sonny looks absolutely shot. And Brentford are going to make another substitution. Brentford crowd getting annoyed at how long Tottenham are taking over set pieces. But trust me, we've suffered from this all season. Sonny is going to take the corner. Oh my God, I'd do anything for us to get another goal from a set piece here to just chill us out a bit. Because they all look absolutely knackered, the Spurs players at this point. Here comes the corner. Flicked on. Oh, came all the way across after a flick on. Anyway, it comes back to Sonny. Oh, he was tempted to drive there. He goes to Decky Kulusevski down line. He gets a cross in. Oh, and tell you what, Scarlett was nearly on the end of it at the back post. It's just over his head. It was a driven cross. Brentford have taken off. They've gone for attacking move here. Spurs fans pretty loud at the moment, but keep working. Bergvall trying to put the pressure on here. Doesn't quite make it work. And then Spence gets in a great position down the line there. He's got to give it now, and he does, to Bentancur, who goes back to Davies. He goes again to Bentancur. This is good. And good space here for Bergvall, but he had men coming to him, and then gives a very difficult ball. And now Archie Gray has got it on his chest, and Gray goes long. That's not a bad move there. Decky Kulusevski now makes Lewis Potter turn back to his keeper. And like I said, Scarlett put a bit of a press on there, and Son did come with him, actually. But they've got more legs here as the new player does well and finds it all the way out to wide left for Brentford, and they come across the halfway line. Bentancur trying to get over there. Decky hasn't got the legs to go and help. He's got to keep working here, Decky, as they're getting down towards the byline on the left. Pedro Porro does well. Can he find someone? Oh, he just unfortunately runs it out of play, but he did well there, and this will be a long throw, I would have thought, for Brentford into the 86th minute now. How many minutes has Porro played this season? My God. Here comes the long throw again. Here it comes. It's really long to the near post. And it's cleared off the line, I think, by Jed Spence. Yeah. And now a chance for Spurs to break forward with Dane Scarlett. He's pretty much on his own. Sonny's trying to get with him. He tries to keep it. Scarlett does find Decky. He did well in the end, Scarlett. Decky finds Bergvall. He takes on the half turn and finds Pape Sarr. Put your foot on it, Pape. And he does. Brilliant off the line from Spence there, by the way. And Spurs just putting their foot on it a little bit. Bentancur finds Porro, and they're just calling Brentford out with the press there. Ben Davies, little bit of pressure. It comes all the way back to Kinski, who I think will have to go long here. He doesn't. He goes short to Bergvall, who has to slide to get the ball to Archie Gray, who's under pressure but does really well. He gives it into Decky, who does a great ball inside to Bentancur, and Spurs are beating the press now. Now, what's the right ball here, Bentancur? Yes, he finds Son, and he's got Spence running at him. But Sarr has made a break into the box. Big chance, perhaps Sarr. It's good! Come on! Yes! 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 Wow! Pape Sarr played in the inside left channel. He makes the lung-busting run. Bentancur starts in midfield. We break the press. He plays the ball out to Son. Son puts his foot on it. Spence has made a run outside him, and that's where the Sarr run comes inside him, and he nutmegs the keeper. What a great late run. Now Tottenham, with 3 minutes left of added time, just play football. Get your foot on the ball and just make it easy for us and let us enjoy it. Come on, a brilliant finish outside of the boot from Pape Sarr. Now come on, Spurs. Come on. He's not been in great form, Pape Sarr, but I love the kid, and that's brilliant for him and for us. Okay, Brentford about to kick off. You've got to think they're just going to put loads of men forward as they immediately play it on the left, down the left. Kulusevski working hard. Damsgaard. They play it down the left. Oh, and Porro's beaten there. Gets up. Then he gets a little foot on it. And that should be a Spurs throw. But it's not, so they're going to go for the long throw, you would have thought, Brentford. And they flick again to Daniel Levy. I don't know if that's his daughter he's with, but he's with someone very young. Okay, they've taken the throw quick. Here comes another cross. Cleared from Pape Sarr. I can't imagine there'll be more than 4 minutes added here. I'd be very surprised if they found more than 4 as their keeper goes long. Jed Spence is underneath it. Gets up well. What a performance. Pape Sarr tries to get it down. And we have got it down here, Spurs. Do it easy, Pap. He tries to find Kulusevski. I don't think he needed to. I really don't think we need to be making those runs. Man United 2-0 down now. They've lost to Crystal Palace. Sonny working hard backwards there. Ben Davis finds Jed Spence. He's under pressure here, Jed. Oh, and he beats his man, Mbeumo. And he got fouled. And he's been brilliant. I'd give him the man of the match here, Jed Spence. But the ref hasn't given a foul there, and it was. And Mbeumo's in down the right. But he's given a foul against Ben Davis. What is this referee all about? Spence was fouled so many times there. And now this is a good chance for Brentford. It was a foul from Ben Davis, but the first one against Spence. So this is just level with the edge of the box or just inside or just outside it on the right-hand side. So Kinski's going to have to line up his wall well here. And Mbeumo, will he shoot for the near post here? Or will he cross it towards the back stick? It's the 90th minute now, so we'll find out how much added time there is. Kinski lining up his wall. He's only getting 2 men in this wall. Come on, Spurs. Stay strong. You've been so resilient this game. Come on. If I were Mbeumo, I'd just be whacking this across the box here and hoping it flies off someone, which is what he's done. And it's over the bar. Come on. Come on, you Spurs. Yes, I'm just showing a replay of when Spence cleared it off the line just a minute before the goal. Not just because of that, though. I would give Spence man of the match. He's been absolutely colossal today. And there are 4 minutes added. Come on, Spurs. Just play easy football. And he's been given player of the match, Jed Spence. Well done, Alan Smith. The correct decision. Kinski taking the goal kick long. Here it goes. 3 minutes left. Goes up towards Decky. Gets a foot on it. And then it comes to Bergwall, who plays it back to Porro, who just whacks it in the air towards Sonny. Tries to get a touch on it. He's pulled down. Sonny, brilliant. Brilliant from Son. It wasn't really a foul, but he acted like he'd been pulled down. Come on, Spurs. I had a feeling about this. When Van der Venlo, his name was not in the squad, I thought, oh, maybe your feeling is wrong. But no. Come on. How badly did we need this? How badly do we need this? Come on. Honestly, like a genuine backs to the wall, 6-pointer relegation scrap type performance. Who thought an Ange Postecoglou team would put in a performance like this? And frankly, we're going to need another one against Liverpool, aren't we? Similar kind of vibe as Ben Davies chips it over towards Kulusevski and it goes out for a Brentford goal kick. I've said, haven't I? I've said that when we get in the lead, we need to play like the teams against us who've beaten us, like Ipswich did at our place, like Crystal Palace did away, like Leicester did, making the game bitty, breaking up the rhythm, not giving them the chance. And that's what Tottenham have done today. That's what they've done. We've fought, which has enabled us to deserve to get our goals. That's what I think. We're just popping it about now, and I like it. Sarr to Spence, and it comes back. And Davis just chips it over into the channel. I think Bentancur's offside there, but it's not been given, so it comes to Spence. Just put it in the corner. It is offside. It is offside. We're just heading into 93 minutes now, guys. Come on! Right, the Brentford keeper goes long. Come on, Spurs. Stay strong. You deserve your clean sheet here. It's flicked on. And Spence is in a good position. Goes back to the keeper. Just kick it long, Kinski, and he does. Good lad. Ange catches the ball and gives it to Brentford. I wouldn't have done that if I were you, Ange. But anyway, Brentford now. Back with their centre half. Comes out wide now to the new guy. A new signing, whose name I don't know. He comes backwards. We've got 30 seconds left now. Come on. Stay strong here, boys. I want Kinski to get his clean sheet. They come wide left now. Chance to get a cross in, maybe. Yeah, they're running out of time. Here comes the cross. Damsgaard. Can Kinski come? He doesn't. So it's Frito and Bremo all the way at the back. He lays it back. Here comes the other cross. Come on, stay strong here, Spurs. Comes to the back again. Bergvall's in there. Get rid of it, Lucas. He does. He does what he can. Clears it. 3 seconds left. Come on, ref. Blow up. Blow up. It's going to be one more cross that comes in. Here it is. Dink to the back post. Free header over the bar. That's it. Brentford 0. Tottenham Hotspur 2. Fantastic. This is my instant post-match review of the Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2 victory. And that was everything that Tottenham Hotspur have not been this season. Everything. They showed desire, backs to the wall, and they're in a huddle now. They're loving it, and they deserve that. A clean sheet for Kinski as well, but just when the going got tough, and it really did get tough, we were 1-0 up at halftime, and then the going got tough at the beginning of the second half. Brentford were putting pressure on. Brentford put over 30 crosses in the box against Spurs today, and Tottenham were like, no, it's not going to happen. They cleared every single one of them. They're brilliant today, Tottenham Hotspur. They showed that they can scrap against adversity. And that is something I've been accusing them of not being able to do all season. So I've got to give them their props where they deserve it. Man to man, they were outstanding. And the best one, and I'm so pleased that he got given player of the match on Sky, Jed Spence at left back, out of position, a player who just a few months ago, seemingly not having a future at this club. And he is honestly showing me that he can be one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League. He is so good. He is so, so good. Spurs go up to 14th in the league, above West Ham, above Everton, 27 points, 10 points ahead of relegation. Maybe we can put that to bed now. But more importantly, 2 wins in a row, going to Anfield, where we have a 1-0 lead in a 2-legged semi-final. And we've just played a backs-to-the-wall effort where a team has just come at us, and we've said no. And we've kept them out. And that is what we're going to have to do on Thursday night. And it's very exciting to see this as we start to get our players back. Only 9 injuries today. 9 injuries we've got out. And Ange said earlier this week, they're all coming back in the next week to 10 days. And he rested Mickey van der Ven, from everything we hear anyway. He rested Mickey van der Ven, just said didn't want to play him today. So if that's the correct intel we're hearing out of the club, then that means Mickey van der Ven will be fit for the Liverpool game. And that will only help. But I'm going to say it. I'm going to go man to man. Kinski was excellent. He had a few times he had to come and punch free kicks away. He had the sun in his eyes all game. His distribution was good. He didn't try and keep it short all the time. He was like, no, we're going to kick this long if it's not on. And he made a couple of important saves in the first half. Then Pedro Porro, considering how many minutes he's played this season and how tired he must be, he did really well. They tried to pinpoint him. They tried to play diagonals over his head all game. They tried to get crosses into him at the back post, and he was strong at the back post today. He was strong coming narrow to help out his centre-backs. He was good in the air. And this is a huge result for Tottenham Hotspur. Ben Davies and Archie Gray. Listen, having Ben Davies back over the last few games has been absolutely massive for Spurs. And him and Archie Gray give each other a bit of balance. And they were fantastic today, up against some of the best forwards in the league, Wissa and Buemo. And they didn't put a foot wrong. Header after header, clearance after clearance. Archie Gray in the first half alone, endless blocks, blocking crosses, blocking shots. As I've already mentioned, Jed Spence, player of the match, absolutely outstanding. One of the reasons I think Tottenham were able to put in a performance like that today against one of the most difficult places to go in the Premier League, against the team who scored more goals at home than any other team in the Premier League. One of the reasons we were able to keep a clean sheet and be so good and solid today was he played the double pivot of Bentancur and Basuma in front of that back four. And I can think of only one time in the first half where there was room for them to run in down the middle. And that is the direct antithesis of what happened in that Leicester game, where for their second goal, we allowed them to just run down the middle of the pitch. Well, they couldn't today. And I said before the game, a lot of Spurs fans think that Basuma and Bentancur can't really play together. They don't really complement each other. But I said, we need them to today, and we need them to develop a partnership because we're going to need them at Anfield as well. And they did. And they fought for each other. And they were giving each other little high fives when they were clearing balls. Bentancur was brilliant today. He was brilliant. He was everywhere, and he reads the game fantastically. If we could just keep him fit, he's such an addition to this team. And they work well together. Of course, there are a few occasions, as there are always going to be with Yves Basuma, where he does something brilliant and then within the space of this same move manages to do something that is so easy that he shouldn't be making a mistake from it. And there were a couple of occasions where he did that. But overall, his positioning was excellent. His tackling, his fighting, really, really good. Deki Kulusevski started in the 8-10 role. He looks tired. He needs a rest, a proper rest as far as I'm concerned. But he doesn't get it because he's got about 12 lungs and he always works hard, always working, always working. Not his best game, but what a player he is. And then into the front line, Mikey Moore started the game in the first half. He started on the right-hand side. He put in one delicious left-footed cross. He was pushed off the ball quite easily a few times. Brentford are a physical side. Probably a bit unlucky to be taken off at halftime, but Bergvall came in and gave us a bit more steel in midfield, whilst Kulusevski was able to hold it up a bit better on the right-hand side, which we needed in that half because the ball was just coming at us over and over again, long ball after long ball, and our ability to get our foot on the ball, it wasn't that simple in the second half. So times where Kulusevski could use his body to keep the ball were important. Richarlison ran himself into the ground, won some important free kicks. We didn't make a chance for him, but listen, more minutes in his legs, which will be important. He looked spent at the end there. He was running on fumes. And Sonny was fine today. He was fine. But then the important thing, the goals. The first one was an own goal from a corner put in by Son. Really good delivery with the keeper with the sun in his eyes. Own goal, I think, from Janelt. And then the second goal from the substitute, Pape Matar, who I said at the time, he hasn't been in great form, but we need your legs here, Pape. We need your energy. And he made a lung-busting run into the box, slotted in by Sonny. And as the keeper dives at his feet, puts it through his legs. And I'll be honest, in that position when he was in that inside left channel, I didn't think he was going to score. But with the outside of his boot, he slotted it under the keeper. And honestly, one of the most enjoyable moments of the season for me. It's been a difficult season, but to get a win away at Brentford, to keep a clean sheet at Brentford, to play in a kind of style where I think this week the pundits, the commentators will all be talking about, Tottenham have tweaked it. Tottenham have played backs to the wall. Tottenham, even though they're fatigued from a Europa League game, they were able to play in a way where at a very difficult stadium against a very good team who are playing very well this season, It was horses for courses, and they didn't try and play out of their box every single time, putting themselves into trouble. They realized in the second half, going longer, going more direct, and trying to scrap for second balls around the halfway line was the way to win that game. And win that game they did. And it's absolutely huge. I cannot tell you how happy I'm about it. I'm so pleased for Ange Postecoglou. And listen, I'll be the first to admit it's been difficult. It's been difficult supporting Ange at times because he hasn't been able to get his first team on the pitch. And his first team still isn't on the pitch. And maybe there's a little bit of an argument to say, why haven't we enabled ourselves to put ourselves in positions like that again, where we can play a bit more direct and a little bit more like, I don't want to use the P word, the pragmatic word, but a little bit more like horses for courses, and just say, okay, we've got a 1-0 lead against Leicester. Let's let them come at us. Let's let them just, have to kind of, press us and win the ball off us and then find gaps or what have you. But today we did. We kind of, it's almost like maybe we were sucked into Brentford style to play because they were incredibly direct. I have to say, it must be, I thought Frank tried to play a bit better football, but actually today I think they knew, and having seen and analysed Spurs, how many goals we concede from crosses, they were like, well, today we're just going to put crosses in the box. And I bet there's a stat that will come out, if it hasn't already been on Twitter, I haven't seen, but it's like, that is the most crosses any team has put in the box this season, I would bet, because it was over 30. It's probably as much as 35. And they were like, if we put enough crosses in the box, Tottenham will wilt. But we didn't wilt. We did not wilt. We stayed strong. And they showed leadership on that pitch today. They showed leadership. Ben Davis, Rodrigo Bentancur, Richarlison putting himself about. Some grit in the spine. And one of the things I like about this new signing that we've made yesterday from France, the centre-back, he's 6'3" and he's a man mountain and he's quick and he's a block. And I've wanted us to bring in a bit more physicality, and they showed some physicality today. And we need to keep showing that, because in the Premier League, you need, it's a cliche, but you need to fight for the right to play your football. And today we fought for the right, and we didn't really start playing our football properly maybe till the last 2, 3, 4 minutes of the game, where we're popping it about because we're 2-0 up. But we fought for that right to do it. And I'm just so pleased. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever been so pleased to see such an ugly victory. And I don't give a fuck about it. I love the ugliness of that victory. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And I'm here for that being the exact kind of performance we put in against Liverpool on Thursday night. Get us through to the League Cup final. They're just showing the Spurs players on the edge of the pitch, giving it to the fans, fist pumping. Ange is really excited. All the kids are there. Dane Scarlett is there. Kinski, really pleased for him. Another clean sheet for him. Meanwhile, Man United lose 2-0 at home to Crystal Palace. It just shows, doesn't it? I was just going to say before, wasn't I? I haven't always been able to support Ange as much as I want. I've always said this, though. I've always said I want it to work for Ange. I want it to be right for Ange. I love him and I want it to be right. I just fear that because he can't get his players on the pitch, he's not going to be able to get the results. But one of the big reasons why Ange is still in a job, I think, is because of what has happened at Manchester United with Amorim, where he's come in and he hasn't been able to change it round. And they cannot ever beat the teams who play low block against them. And it just shows how difficult that is in the Premier League. And Ange and Spurs have struggled with that themselves. But today we went to Brentford at a team where I think they thought they were going to roll us over. We played Thursday night. They'll be tired. Spurs have lost, 6 out of their last 7 out of their last 8. They came and they thought, we'll just put cross after cross in the box. They won't stand up to it and we'll roll them over. And because we weren't playing up against a deep block, I think we enjoyed that. And we didn't mind the fighty nature of it. And as a result, a huge 2-0 victory away at Brentford. And we can enjoy our weekend, and we can now enjoy the rest of deadline day. And hopefully Daniel Levy will realise the pressure he's under and find a way to surprise us with a big signing, a big forward signing, someone who can, put pressure on the forward line that we have at the moment. And really someone who can improve our first team. I don't know who that name is. I don't know what options there are. Maybe there aren't and it won't happen. But that's a huge win and it feels like a bit of a feel-good factor. 2 wins in a row now going into that Anfield game. I'm excited for it. It's not going to be easy. I'm just hopeful. I just hope that Liverpool will see it as their least important thing on their plates. And so there will be like a motivation difference where we'll be kind of hopefully 5-10% more motivated than them to get us into a final. How good a week would that be, guys? How good a week would that be? Anyway, that has been my instant match reaction to the Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2 Premier League victory. Tottenham cooking with gas. 2 wins in a row for the relegation favourites. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you press like on this video and press subscribe on the channel. Cheers. Okay, everyone, welcome to the fan show. Got a smile on my face. I didn't even remember what smiling was all about. I'll be talking on this fan show to a number of Spurs fans about the Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2 Premier League victory. What a time to be alive, guys. And if you want to appear on a future fan show, email tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. Email Chris Cowlin at tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. And you can come on the show and talk about hopefully more Tottenham Hotspur victories. Let's get started with Melvin in Malta. Melvin, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Finally speak to you after a Premier League victory.
It's the lucky shirt, Melvin. Every time I've worn the shirt without a top over the top of it, just the shirt, we've won. All three times. So
has to be.
It's never coming off.
Right. Where do you really start? Obviously delighted with the 3 points. I always expect us to win. I didn't think we would lose. Me and my dad were arguing before I came up who was man of the match. For him, it was Spence. For me, it was Bentancur. You can argue for both. It's a good argument to have. I thought Bentancur really protected and mopped up everything. I thought he was great. It's very good to see because he had such a big injury. I didn't think we would ever have him back. But he's slowly starting to show that, the old Bentancur is there. It's just he needs to do it again now. Hopefully he doesn't get injured because he looked knackered in the end. In the 85th minute, he looked like he was struggling a bit to run. Happy with the performance. I thought Richarlison up top did a job. I know he didn't score, but he looked rusty. He looked sharp in the first half, and then he got tired around the 70th minute, which is why, Scarlett came on, and good to see Scarlett score in the Europa League, and it's an opportunity for him to make his mark now, and he has to strike when the iron is hot. I thought he did well when he came on, good hold-up play. Yeah. Davis and Gray didn't do any mistakes, I felt. Hardly anything. I thought they were great. Their anticipation was great. Pedro Porro, solid today. Kulusevski, solid. Tried to create. He put two balls in that, we're dying for a Solanke or a Son or a Richarlison to be at the end of them, but no one was there.
Yep.
At times it felt when we attacked, because we were tired, there was no one in the box. Time and time again, the box was just empty. And it's not usually what Ange Ball is about. Ange Ball is usually arriving in the box and creating chances for the wingers. And it's just because of the tired legs. For me, it's simple as that. If we were fresh, like we were in August and September and October, I think we would have finished the game off earlier, 2-0 at halftime, potentially 3. You never know, but happy with the guys. Bissouma played well today. Which is something that I usually is a player I usually criticize. So it's good. It's good. We need performances out of everyone at the moment. I think looking at the bench, it's still extremely limited what Postecoglou can do. He can't really, freshen up the team much. I thought Bergvall when he came on, I felt he was a bit lost, and I thought we lost a bit of spine when he came on. I just thought they were walking straight through us, and he didn't really know when to press, how to press, and he showed he's good on the ball, and when he has the ball, he's quite capable of passing it around. But I don't think he's as good as, for example, Kulusevski is quite difficult to get past. He puts his body on the line. He knows when to press. Mikey Moore, 17-year-old Mikey Moore. Let's not forget he did all right. Was it his first Premier League start, or am I wrong?
No, he definitely started at Crystal Palace, so maybe it's only his second. But he put in that great cross. We could be talking about something completely different if Richarlison had kind of got across his defender for that amazing left-footed cross. I really like Mikey Moore on the right. Listen, I think the important thing for me is you've seen from this weekend, Man United losing at home to Palace, Aston Villa losing, how hard it is to win games after Europe. Like, it's just when you're playing against a team who's got the fresher legs, it's so hard. So I'm just so pleased at Tottenham. It feels like we've got that monkey off our back.
Yeah, the 3 points will give us a bit of a deep breath. We can take a deep breath now. we were joking around. The fans, by the way, were great. The last 10 minutes, the away support, I felt they were absolutely brilliant. I mean, if you had that game, hands off to you. I love that kind of support, and I felt they really had the team get it over the line. Pape Sarr coming on as well and getting the goal, I thought that was great. So overall, it's been a good day for us. I think Postecoglou showed he's capable of changing it, changing his philosophy, his style of play. We didn't have such an extreme high line, but we still stuck to our principles of attacking, but the long balls from the goalkeeper were great, and overall a solid performance, something to build off as well, especially going into this semi-final second leg against Liverpool. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than that this season. I know we're still in other competitions, but it's a really important game, and we have a solid foundation now to go into that game, and there's going to be a bit more positivity around the camp. Hopefully we get one or two players back, and I just love to say club signing Jet Spence. It's just club signing Jet Spence. What a guy. Is he seriously, Barnaby? Is he one of the best, left back, right back, if you want to call him a right back, because he's playing left back in the league? He's so strong, he's so fast, he's good on the ball, he can create.
Yeah.
Honestly, this guy's potential is insane, and he's 24, I believe. He's not that young. Yeah. He has experience on his belt. He went on loan a few times. He went to Leeds. He went to Italy. I mean, this guy has so much potential, and he can really. I think he's won his place in the team. You could say we're set in that position. We have left. He can play left. He can play right. He's so strong.
With Destiny coming back in like next 10 days' time, we might even be able to give Pedro Porro a rest at some point soon.
Finally, Pedro Porro, I mean, credit to him today. He didn't do anything wrong. I felt he played well.
Yeah.
He deserves a rest. And credit to him for keeping on playing. I mean, some of these players haven't stopped since the Man City game.
Yeah.
They haven't stopped. I think Pedro is one of them. Archie might be the other one. Dragizin, unfortunately, and I probably jinxed him because I told you, and I said on Chris's as well when I spoke to him that I fear that these players will be injured next, and unfortunately, Dragizin was injured.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, listen, Melvin, thanks again, mate, for being part of the show. So good to speak to you after a victory, and hopefully the same thing on Thursday night.
All the best, Barnaby.
Oh man, come on, you Spurs. See. Okay, great stuff. Speaking to Melvin. Next up is Tim. Tim, good to talk to you, mate. How are you feeling about that game? Oh, you're on mute, I think, Tim. Oh, Tim, I can't hear you. Oh, there we go.
Oh, thank you. So it's press 2 minutes. So happy about that game, Barnaby. So
yes. Were you surprised by the nature of the win?
Totally. Yeah, I think I was more happy than if it was like a 5-3 game.
Yeah,
I've been looking for them to win dirty for ages, and it was the perfect game for me. We were tired up front, or not match fit, both of those things. So it was a bit, there was a couple of chances that really a fit striker would have stuck in. But I'm with you guys. I think Bentancur just looked like the old Bentancur. He's a Rolls Royce of a player. It's like a proper Spurs player in the midfield. And Jed Spence is becoming iconically good. Wherever he may finish up playing. The fact that we won dirty and sat back and kind of foiled them, just said, throw all those crosses in all day, and we'll deal with those. And we haven't got two regular centre backs in. Archie and Ben were just enormous. And it was good that the fullback sat back a bit rather than just bombing forward all the time. It was pick and choose when you go forward, and he was just a bit more thoughtful about fitness, about what players he had, and it just was perfect. And of course, Sarr slipping one at the end. I'm sure everyone was jumping up and down.
Yeah, Tim, that's a really good point about the fullbacks, because I don't remember Spence being caught ahead of the ball at all, actually.
No, and nor did Porro. Porro's normally way ahead of the ball, and they'd obviously been told don't, unless it's absolutely necessary. And that probably why we weren't so sharp up front, because we were outnumbered. They were like, right, let's just sit back and deal and go for the break. And we had a couple of opportunities. I think if Sonny's fitter and younger, he'd have got to a few more. Richie's not fit enough to make those long runs, and he kept getting caught. And Kulu was, you know, he must be knackered, right? But I think it was just so beautifully played. I mean, we might have said different if one of those had gone in, but they might have had 30 odd crosses, but they didn't really have many chances at all. I mean, we certainly had more clear-cut ones.
Yeah, just kind of like shots off from the edge of the box from clearances and stuff, but such bravery. I thought Archie Gray and Richarlison, in terms of putting their bodies on the line, so brave throughout.
Yeah, it's not much more you can say about Archie Gray. He's just an unbelievably good player. We have got some unbelievable teenagers. It just says so much of the future. That's why I'm happy that Danso's coming in, you know, this mountain of an Austrian player. We need that. I think either you or the last guy said it. We need that physicality. We need someone who can. I think he's like 6'4" or something. Probably the same one. And we need that sort of person, and offense and defense, really, just in the box, both ends, just to do that. And then I feel we got more. Then maybe another striker coming in.
What we could do with is someone with some blind pace.
Yeah,
I feel like if we had someone with like real pace and ideally, obviously, a final ball as well. But some of those areas we get ourselves in, there are just so many times where I feel like our forward line are in really good positions, but they have to kind of bring it back to start it again a little bit because they don't have the pace to get out round the outside. We could definitely do with someone like that. Just a quick skip back, actually. I meant to mention it. And Burmo was so quiet, and we're talking about pace, and Burmo's got a lot of pace, but Jed had him every single time. Totally. But yeah, we could do with a sort of, you know, one of those guys that they had on the wings that they were quick and passing through. We haven't got that at the moment. Hopefully it will come back. But we got a day? Are we going to get anyone in a day? I doubt we'll have anyone in. He's going to rely on basically a new squad arriving in the next 2 or 3 weeks, right? Yeah, listen, it's a difficult one. Obviously, the anti-Levy sentiment at the moment is very strong, but I do think it's a difficult one because I think, and this is one of the things I love Ange for, is I don't think he wants people for the sake of it. I honestly don't. And I think he'll be saying to Levy, listen, I know the pressure's on you in a big way right now, but I only want, you know, this player or this player, this player. And if they're unwilling to come, which has been, you know, the slightly laughing stocky way this weekend has gone so far, then he's not going to take a body. And look, you know, it's the next 2 weeks where Odebear should be back, and he does have accelerating pace. But it's just how many of these players, when they do come back, are going to stay fit. That's my worry.
Well, it's always is the worry, but hopefully we've only got a couple of months left. I'm the same. I'm not screaming and shouting for Levy. I think it's an easy out. I've got massive criticism of him, but I think over the next month or so, we're basically getting some world-class players back. You know, certainly a world-class centre defensive line, and some optional extras like Odebear and the like. So I'm feeling kind of positive. I'm not going to talk about Thursday. I refuse to. But I'm feeling much more positive than I did a week ago, which was like, where the hell is this going? Because there was a plan B after all. After all this time, there's a plan B, and it worked well, which means we can go a goal up, sit back, do those things, even if it's lucky, and get something on the break. We don't need to win 5-2 every time or lose that way. Yeah.
Tim, listen, thanks so much for being a part of the show, mate. Let's talk again, hopefully, when we're in the final of the Carabao Cup on the day that you're refusing to mention. Top man.
It's always a pleasure, Barnaby. Have a good show.
Good, mate. Bye-bye. Just going to bring you some breaking news before I bring the next guest on. So, according to Fabrizio Romano, Spurs have agreed a loan deal with Chelsea for their centre-back, Axel Disasi. No buy option clause and a loan fee included. However, Disasi refusing to accept Tottenham at the moment because he's already agreed terms with Aston Villa. However, Chelsea have no intention of letting him go to Aston Villa because they are competitors for a Champions League spot. Now, I said at the beginning of the show today, at the beginning of the watch-along, Spurs going for another centre-back, having got Danso through the door yesterday. Does that bring some fear about Mickey van der Ven or QT Romero's injuries? And maybe more, because the club have said today, I believe, through Alistair Gold, or some people have leaked to Alistair Gold, that Van der Ven only didn't play today because they're monitoring his minutes. So I wonder if they're maybe worried about QT Romero going forward. Anyway, let's discuss that. Paul, are you ready in Ireland? How are you, mate?
I'm good, and you?
You're just walking around your flat.
Sorry, yeah. Kids
It's
are
all
already
good.
made dinner or not.
So, Paul, before we get into that kind of latest transfer news, how happy are you after that Premier League victory, our first in, what was it, 8 games, something like that?
Wasn't it great to see that once again, like your previous callers, there is actually a plan B. We can play a different way. We're not a one-trick pony. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. I'll be honest with you, I went into the game fairly confident. I thought we would get 3 points, but we were just right from the start defended brilliantly. Bentancur is just different gravy. When he's on it, and he was just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Spence out of this world again. Like Tim said there, Son, Kulusevski, Richarlison just looked very tired. All three. I know Richarlison is only coming back from an injury, so they just looked tired, and we didn't really have a front line for the want of better words. But
Paul, sorry to interrupt. Could you do me a favor and turn down your TV because it's just causing an echo? Yeah, listen, I completely agree. Listen, the plan B thing, I don't think football is quite as, I think there's a lot more nuance to it than that. And I think that, actually, I'm going to ask you this question because I think this is important as well. Is it possible today that maybe for the first time, the players on the pitch took it into their own hands a little bit? And maybe it was like, Kinski was like, actually, I'm not just going to pass this short every time, because in that first 10, 15 minutes of the second half, they were really putting us under pressure with the press. So it was like, okay, we're going to play it long and we're going to scrap for second balls. Is it possible that there was just a bit more leadership on the pitch and that led to that type of performance?
Absolutely. And we touched on that before. From when we watch Spurs under Ange, it's like he's after taking the instinctiveness out of the player. This is how we play, and we play one way. But today it was like, as you said, players just took responsibility. You know, when you need to sit back in front of a back four to either protect the lead for 5 minutes and settle things on, that's what it looked like we did. Where in previous games, we're not protecting a lead. We're just going gung ho, and then you get caught on the break, and you can see today it looked different. And you'd like to think that was down to the players. Like, they're all experienced enough to, put your foot in the ball. We'll pass it about. We're not going to go, gung ho 100.
Yeah, and as we mentioned with one of the earlier callers, it did feel to me like there was a difference in the fullbacks not getting caught ahead of the ball, but certainly Spence. It was almost like Spence was like, I'm not going to let Mbeumo get the better of me even once, and so I'm not going to bomb up as often and get caught up the pitch.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And Mbeumo to me, he was non-existent. He didn't get anything off Spence all day long. And, we know would be one of Brentford's danger men. So, like, taking the responsibility to, I'm a defender first. We will defend. We're not just going to go up the pitch in one direction and hopefully nothing will happen behind us. It was, I'm going to stay behind this boy and make sure there's no crosses go in, or he doesn't cut across and get a shot off. Yeah, I think it was just fantastic, and he was incredible today. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, really good. Now, what chances of us getting someone through the door in the forward line, as well as maybe another defender before the end of play tomorrow? 11 p.m. is the deadline tomorrow night.
Well, I've always known transfer deadline day as Tottenham's day, but look, I think we do need a forward. No, I get that. In the next week to 10 days, 2 weeks, the vast majority of the players that we have out injured will start coming back in drips and drabs, but they're not match fit, so you can't expect them to just get on the park and do their thing. So, like, minutes will be managed. So I think getting somebody in the forward line or some sort of attacker, I think, is extremely necessary, especially with Solanke out injured for at least another month. I don't think. I know Richarlison's only had to come back from an injury, but he's not a striker for me. I think we need somebody, that's proven to stick the ball in the net. whether it is just for 6 months, whether it's a permanent deal, whatever it might be. But I absolutely do think we need somebody. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and then I've got to ask you about Thursday night. What do you think?
It's going to. I think it's going to be difficult. No, look, Van de Ven didn't play today, and I think we all know why. I think it was the right thing to do, is leave him out to make sure he is absolutely set up for Thursday night, with the view that, you know, their chances are they're going to play the high or play the long ball. No, go back to the first leg. Kinski nullified that by playing cards further forward, and they couldn't do that. I think it's going to be difficult. We have a 1-0 lead. We have something to defend, which is good. We do have something to defend. I know we can defend when we absolutely have to.
Yeah.
We probably could have done with another goal, if not another 2. But no, we have the lead. They don't. It's they have to come and beat us. We don't necessarily have to go and beat them.
Very true. All right.
Yeah. Look, you never know, but I wouldn't be overly pessimistic. I think we could do a job up there.
Top man. Listen, thanks so much for getting involved again, mate. Really appreciate it. Speak to you after Thursday.
Absolutely. Come on, you Spurs.
Top man. Okay. Next up is Pat. Pat, thank you for being so patient. You're in Canada. Pat, how did that result find you all the way over in Canada?
That was the most uplifting and relieving result I can think of. When I was watching the Hotspur game, like all I could think of leading up to that game was field a strong team, keep us in the cup game, and just who cares about the league.
Yep.
But we did well. It's just so depressing seeing us so far down there, and I just wanted to protect everybody for the Liverpool game. But yeah, look, everybody's, I'll echo everybody's sentiments. Like I think the guys were tired in mind and body, and we kind of went back to the basics. Like I know Buddy said that our legs were tired, but I spacing out and missing the opportunity to run into the box when there was important crosses. I think that was tired minds and not tired bodies. And I think we had the drive and belief to just remember to run and try and cause problems. And that's what you saw with Charleston, Jed Spence, we were just Bentancur, it was running around and causing problems. I thought was just like kind of the name of the game today.
Yeah. And is there, am I being too optimistic to think that this feels like it could be a little bit of a turning of the tide for Spurs? Last couple of games, gritty, important win today, mixed with on Thursday night, 3 academy players scoring goals. And obviously getting us through to that top 8 in the Europa League. Could that just mean like a little change in momentum and a little bit more confidence seeping through the squad as these players start coming back from injury?
Yeah, honestly, I think there is the winds of change are kind of here. Like it wasn't, before the Hotspur game, everybody was just ready to set fire to the stadium and just get rid of Daniel Levy in any way we can. And here, it looks like we've got one center back already in, another center back coming in, tons of players coming back in a week's time now. I think it's maybe 5 or 6 players that are going to come back. Two wins on the bounce. I think something's changing. And it's good because all Postecoglou said, I know you've been a big fan and you just wanted to give him time and you really want it to work. So do I. And all he said is just like, he needs a unified team no matter what, unified club, unified fan base. Yeah. And without it, like things are going to start to fall to the wayside. You see people protesting too late in the transfer window. Guys are tired, too many injuries. Like there's too many things going against us to divide us. And I think like these 2 wins are important to unite us.
Well, I have to say, I'm just looking on Twitter and I'm very excited because I've just seen how before the game, and I hadn't seen it before, Jamie Carragher on Sky said, I would be astounded if Tottenham won the game. If they concede less than 3, I will be surprised. So very enjoyable to shove that down his throat.
Yeah, I was watching the Jamie Carragher stream and saw that live, and I'm really glad that he ate it.
Excellent. And there's a picture on Jed Spence's social media where it's just him holding his Player of the Match trophy and says, he's written, "I'm hungry, let's eat."
Good, man. Yeah, that's a Kulusevski shout out. He said that to his Swedish national team.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jed Spence, man, it's such a hilarious turnaround for that guy.
Incredible.
Just a castaway under Conte, and now he's just, he's gonna be probably starting over Udogie as we try to get Udogie more and more minutes, but he'll be proper competition, and it's so awesome seeing him. He'll start Thursday, no doubt, and everybody's got to remember how many problems he caused Mo Salah. Mo Salah had nothing. He did nothing in that first leg. And if he does that again, we do have an opportunity to walk away with something.
Yeah, and Jack Pitt-Brooke from The Athletic has called it the Jedemption Arc. The Jedemption Arc. Very good. Listen, Pat, thanks so much for getting involved in the show, mate. I'll speak to you after Thursday and hopefully another win.
Okay, man. See ya.
Top man. Cheers, mate. Bye. Okay. Next up, the Czech Republic and Steve. Steve, how are you feeling, my friend?
Absolutely over the moon. Absolutely over the moon. As everyone is. Really so pleased. I actually wrote to Chris in a very short email that I thought we'd win against all the odds with Brentford's home record and our poor record. That football is just strange sometimes. Yeah. Not only because we won during the week, but I just thought I was looking at Brentford's record, and they've got the highest goal scorers, I think, at home in the league until today, and they didn't score at all. The makeshift defense that we're still using were outstanding. A little mention for Kinski, because luckily no one's mentioned him. The first half save he parried away was a good one, and later on when he scooped it away from someone's feet coming in from a deep cross. That would have been a definite goal otherwise. He played pretty solidly, and his clearances and playing the long ball, as we mentioned now and again, helped alleviate some of the tiredness in the midfield or the players' legs. Yeah, I was really pleased. The only thing I was disappointed with is, I think what's his name from Malta pointed out, Melvin. Yeah, that. We were putting balls into the box earlier on, and Richarlison just wasn't instinctively getting the right side of the defender, actually being there. A couple of times, Kulishevsky whipped a couple of balls in, and other people. And in the second half, I think he was just tired when he got played through very well, and he was just outrun.
I think at this stage, for me, I think Ange wouldn't choose to have him playing as many minutes as he is straight away, and so he does look a little bit leggy. But I think the important thing is he enabled us. He didn't win. He probably only won what? Let's be honest. He probably only won maybe 30, a third of all of the kind of aerial duels holding the ball up. But that's a third more than we would have won with Sonny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it enabled us to have breathers at times.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. And I just thought the whole team, as you said, dug deep, and we won dirty for a change. We didn't collapse as it was looking like when it was only 1-0, and obviously it was a huge relief throughout the Hotspur clan around the world.
How are you feeling about deadline day now? What do you think we're going to get through the door, if anything?
I'm hoping for, like you said as well, some speedy winger, or a forward with pace.
Yeah,
that's what I really want now. We've sort of got this huge defender in this Austrian guy, 6'3". So I'm hoping, but it's you're talking 24, just over 24 hours really. So doubtful, but that's what I would want.
I'm so confused that Spurs seem to be, I said this at the top of the watch-along, but I'm so confused that Spurs seem to be going for players without kind of agreeing with their agents first that the player wants to come.
That's right.
It's like the olden days. That's not what happens anymore. It seems odd, and it seems to be playing out in public. And I can't help but think that maybe there's a lot of agents kind of using Tottenham to get other clubs to bid for their players. So, it's... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but usually they agree at first.
Yeah, it's been wholly embarrassing. The last 3 attempts at getting players in, and they turn around and say they don't want to come to Tottenham.
Weird.
It's like you say, they should have negotiated up front. But no, wonderful performances, as people have pointed out, from Jed Spence. Bentancur was immense. They were the outstanding players for me. But Archie Gray, like you say, he's another extremely good player. And as people have pointed out, we've got a lot of talent in the youngsters. It's really looking good.
Let me say something I've been thinking about Archie Gray. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, okay.
If you're Thomas Tuchel, right, and you know, assuming he gets us to a major tournament, you're gonna want players who can play in 3 different positions.
Yeah.
And Archie Gray is brilliant at all of it. Arsenal have scored again. They're 2-0 up. So annoying. Oh no, it's offside.
Really?
Offside. Good news. Offside.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I just think Archie Gray has just proven himself to be so versatile and just brilliant and calm and composed in every single position he plays.
Yeah, absolutely right. And he's very good in the air as well. He seemed to do quite a few clearances today. I was very pleased with the defence, because that's where we used to be extremely fragile. And as you say, they were throwing cross after cross into the box, and quite rightly so, based on our form in the past. But I must say, and Davis, a lot of unsung heroes, easy for me to say, really coped well with everything they threw at us. They didn't really have, any serious chances. We had lots of chances, really. We had some Bergvall just screwed one past the post in the second half.
That was so close.
That was close, and you could think, I was thinking, we're not going to get that second one, so it's going to be nail biting. But as I say, I thought Sarr took his goal, like you said, really, really well. It's a lovely threaded ball from Son, and poked it through the keeper's legs. Not easy to do, but that sealed it, and so happy. We've moved up to 14th.
Yes, we're cooking with gas, Steve. We're cooking with gas. Listen, thanks so much for being part of the show, and I'll talk to you after the win on Thursday night when we're going to get into the Carabao Cup final.
I hope so.
Top
nice
man.
to talk to you again. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye. Just before I bring on the next caller, there was some super chats from earlier. Yori, thank you so much, mate. He says, Barnaby knows. I guess he's talking about when I mentioned during the game the double pivot. He'd love to see Rodrigo more in transition. And then Philly Hotspur, thank you so much for your super chat. Ange, tactical change, Spence, man of the match. Brilliant 3 points. Completely agree. Really enjoyed it today. I guess it kind of shows a little bit, doesn't it, that, after Conte and Mourinho and Nuno, we're all desperate for good football. And it's true. Of course we are. But also, results mean everything. Results mean absolutely everything. Okay, next up, Liam. Thanks for being so patient. Liam, how are you feeling after that 2-0 victory, mate?
I'm feeling quite happy, to be honest. I went into this game, I actually went into the game quite confident, because I don't know, there was just a different feel about today. I think it was kind of, after seeing the younger players perform on Thursday night, I think it gave kind of the whole squad, because you saw on social media, like Maddison and a lot of the other players coming out and bigging up, the younger players. It felt more like we were a team. And today we played more like a team. The players showed fight, I think, for the first time in quite a while on the pitch. It looked like that they were playing for the badge again. And, it was so good as well to see Ange, the tactical change. So many fans saying that there isn't a plan B. There is the plan B. There's the plan B that we needed and everyone wanted. And it worked. Spence was pretty incredible today.
Can I ask you the same question I asked an earlier caller? Do you think there's a chance as well, though, that the players kind of almost found their way to the plan B on the pitch themselves and showed some leadership, and actually, if we're going to get in the trenches in this, we're going to need to get in the trenches in this game and play them the way that they're playing us, because Brentford was so direct.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. They did. They started out the game very direct, the long balls. I mean, there was their number 7, the ball from their goalkeeper that went in behind, and they kept switching that, and they kept getting behind our high line. So I think they kind of adapted, because let's be honest, it was like we won ugly, and that's what we needed to do. It was a pretty horrible game of football, but we've done what we needed to do. We were solid in what we done, and that's all we could ask. And I think definitely their directness made us play more direct and getting behind them.
Just going to bring in a comment from George. Thanks for your comment. He says he's played that way multiple times this season. Now, what I would say is, I'm not going to fully disagree with you, George. What I'd say is there have been times where we played a little bit more deep and defensive, for sure. Certainly against kind of the bigger teams where we hit them on the break. But in terms of our keeper in the second half, especially certainly after the first 10 minutes of the second half, our keeper just playing long every single time. Yeah. That is the first time where I've seen us go kind of full backs to the wall. And I'm here for it. George has kind of added to it. Look, here, we did exactly the same thing against Liverpool and City. Yeah. But I'm talking about full kind of backs to the wall like we did then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, against Liverpool and City, we still played out from the back. We still played, intricate passes trying to play through the midfield. Today, we were far more direct in that second half from the goalkeeper, which I quite like to see, because the amount of mistakes we've made this season from playing out from the back and losing the ball and giving the ball away, playing more direct, it worked because Brentford couldn't handle it.
Now, Liam, you're a young man. You're probably interested and knowledgeable about the transfer window. What do you think is going to happen over the next 24 hours or more? And any players you think we might sneak through the door?
I'd love to see an attacker, probably another centre-back. But when it comes to Disasi, like, you know, I think we can all say as Spurs fans, do we really want a Chelsea centre-back? I personally don't, because, you know, they can hold that. I mean, like, even what they said, it was like a dig at us. You know, we'd let him go to Spurs because they're not a threat. So I don't want him. I don't want him because it's just Chelsea. I can't really see us getting anyone through now. Like 24 hours, just over 24 hours to go.
It is amazing how under the radar they do it now, though, because, you know, that guy that we got in last night, Kev, let's call him Kev. He, you know, I'd seen reports about him, but never with Spurs, really. And then suddenly, not only does the report come out from like Romano and David Ornstein, but then like the video is done about 10 minutes later. You know, it's like it's done. So all these reports of it being like, oh, Tell has just decided to say no to Spurs, or Tamori has just decided, it's bollocks. It's probably it's happened days ago. And so if we are going to get someone, it'll be probably someone we haven't heard of. And this stuff with Disasi is probably from days ago as well. Yeah,
I mean, being completely upfront and honest, this player we've just signed, I've never heard of until we signed him. I've never heard of him. But, you know, hopefully he's tall. He's like you know, strong. That's what we need at the back, especially with Draghi out, Van der Ven, his injuries, Romero worrying, not knowing how long he could be out for. I think that's probably why we're looking at so many centre backs, because that's where all our injuries have been. But Gray definitely doing the job there. So even if we don't get through another centre back, I think Gray there at the minute, I'm very comfortable with.
Absolute Rolls Royce of a player. Listen, Liam, thanks so much for being part of the show, mate. Let's talk after. Hopefully we win against Liverpool on Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you.
Top man. Cheers, mate. Bye. Okay, next up is Neil from Glasgow. Thanks for being so patient, Neil. Tell me, how are you feeling from up there?
I'm delighted, Barnaby. Good to see you again.
And you?
Yeah, I didn't have high hopes for today at all, and it was a terrific performance. I think proof that Ange Postecoglou can come up with a different plan. You know, it doesn't have to be the same style of football all the time. And a terrific performance. You know, I was getting frustrated during the second half. I thought that there were periods where it was a bit of a masterclass from Spurs in how to win possession and immediately give it back to Brentford again. But then the last 10 minutes, I thought the game management was superb. You know, and the fact that we, you know, still managed to carry a threat and finish off the game with Sarr scoring that goal in the last few minutes was great. Yeah, good all-round performance. Absolutely
fantastic. And, you know, obviously it takes us on with a bit of momentum to the Liverpool game. What are you thinking about
that? Well, even just looking a bit further forward, I think, you know, we've got to be kind of hopeful for the second half of the season now. I think we really needed the win. Everyone accepts that. The fact that so many of, I think, the squad players have been out injured are going to be coming back. We're going to have a much stronger looking squad, I think, once we get this next week out of the way. So, you know, we've got 2 cup games coming up now, Liverpool on Thursday and Villa on Sunday. And, you know, we just need to try and do everything we can to stay in the competition. There's obviously a Wembley final at stake now on Thursday night. Let's go for it.
I think a lot of people, sorry to interrupt, but a lot of people, you know, think that Villa away is a very difficult draw, and obviously it's not ideal. But I'll tell you this: they don't like that draw. There's no way that they wanted to draw us home or away.
No, I don't think anyone would have wanted to pull us out of the bag. And I think even Thursday night has got maybe some echoes of when we beat Manchester City 1-0 at White Hart Lane in the Champions League, and then, you know, went up to City and got through. I know obviously it was on away goals and that won't count this time around, but, you know, I'm a lot more hopeful for Thursday night than I was maybe, you know, a couple of hours ago.
It'll be very interesting to see how that game starts, won't it? Like I said, I kind of said it at the end of my match reaction. I just really hope that you've got to bear in mind, you know, it's marginal gains in elite level sport. And I just think in terms of what Liverpool have on their plate, they are going to be at least a few percentage points less motivated about this game than Tottenham are. I'm sure of it.
They must be. To be honest, I think that maybe showed in the first leg.
Agreed.
But I don't care. If it ends up with us in the final at Wembley, then who cares what kind of team Liverpool put out on Thursday night and what type of performance they put in.
Yeah, and also I think Trent isn't going to be fit, and I think that's big for us because his ability to kind of drop the ball over the top of our back line causes us problems.
Yeah, that is a real plus, and who knows? Maybe he'll rotate a wee bit.
Maybe before then, Daniel Levy will bring in Jurgen Klinsmann as the or Rafa van der Vaart on the deadline day to excite the fan base. Yeah,
what I was going to say is, are there 2 days of the year where we're actually all Daniel Levy fans, and maybe tomorrow's one of them? Wouldn't it be terrific if he could pull a Van der Vaart type signing out of the bag tomorrow? But and then maybe on Tuesday we can all go back to complaining about him again. But more than likely. Listen, mate, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Let's talk again after the Thursday night, hopefully victory. Top man. Great. Cheers, Barnaby. See you, bye. Next up is Noel. Also, not in England. You're in Ireland, aren't you, Noel? How are you feeling over there after that 2-0 win?
Yeah, I'm in Ireland, Barnaby, and absolutely delighted. Very nervous before the game, actually, but funny. I had a funny feeling about it. I thought it was a game that we possibly would win or even not lose. But I think football is, as Jimmy Greaves said, it's a funny old game. A week ago, I think we were probably at our lowest ebb. We were beaten 2-1 by Leicester. And we were getting dragged back into, we've never been down that far. Like yesterday, I think we were 18th or maybe 17th in the Premier League. That was a much needed 3 points. But I think the style of play was fantastic because I think it's exactly what we need to do to go to Liverpool. Because if we're naive enough to go to Liverpool and play like we did a few weeks ago or a month or two ago, we would be absolutely destroyed. So I think today was completely crucial. 3 points, up to 27, a lot more to do, but very, very impressed with the performance today. The back four were absolutely amazing. And I mean, really, Brentford didn't, with all their possession and all their crosses and all their corners, they didn't really create an awful lot. And I think the back four with Porro, Archie Gray, tremendous, Ben Davis, tremendous, Jed Spence, unbelievable. Midfield was very, very good, and Bentancur, fantastic. And what a difference a week made for Pape Sarr. He was badly maligned last week, comes on, scores a crucial goal. And, the togetherness that was shown at the end, and, I said and watched, and all the togetherness and the way that Porro and everybody was celebrating and all together, I think it's a good sign. And looking forward to the Liverpool game. Wouldn't have said that a week ago, was very down, but much better.
Listen, I completely agree. And I do think that those little momentum shifts can really make a huge difference. And like I said, I just hope that, to be honest, I even think this last kind of 20, 30 hours of the transfer window could add some momentum to it as well. If we could,
absolutely.
Levy must feel that pressure. He must feel that pressure and know that we have to get someone in who will excite the fan base. And if he can just find someone, then that could add to the momentum before Liverpool, don't you think?
I do, actually. And I also think, as a squad of players, if you're in the team and you have somebody that's coming there to potentially take your place, I think you're going to up your performance. You're not going to give your shirt away to your position in the team away too easily. So competition is good. I think in actual fact for the last 2 months, we didn't have that competition. We were down to the bare bones. So the more players, the better. Big plus, I think, getting Van der Ven back, I think was a very, very good idea not to play him today. That was what I was worried about, that would Ange just throw him back into the deep end. He gave him a half a game on Thursday night, left him out today. I think he's a certainty to play on Thursday, because with the attack that Liverpool have, we need all the quality players that we have. But as I said to you already, the style of play that we played today is exactly what I think we need against Liverpool. And for now, I think we do have a chance. And last week, I would have said no chance.
I want Sonny and Richarlison and Kulusevski to just sit in an ice bath between now and Thursday afternoon and not get out of it, and just wrap them in cotton wool. Listen, mate, thank you so much for getting involved in the show, Noel. Let's speak again, hopefully, after a huge night for Spurs on Thursday. Top man.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
Okay. And our final guest today, thank you for being so patient, Ronnie. Really appreciate it. How are you feeling about that huge 3 points?
I don't think I've ever felt like a pragmatic game felt more refreshing. Like how can an attacking style of football feel boring and a pragmatic style feel refreshing? It's so weird.
It's weird, but it's great, and it just shows how important results are. Who really impressed you out there today?
I mean, I don't think anyone spoke about him enough. Jed Spence was unbelievable. I just tweeted about him as well. Some of the stats of the game. He's got a thing for locking up left-footed right wingers. He's a joke. I think as soon as Doggy comes back, I think he needs to be starting over Porro. I mean, Porro's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's just the discipline that Spence has got. I think Porro lacks, and especially like you said, there's people complaining about him at the back post. He covers it. He does. Listen, when we were at our best under Pochettino, Spurs had 4 genuine fullbacks who would kind of replace each other game to game. Often, Davis and Trippier would play in the Europa League or the Champions League, and then Rose and Walker would play in the Premier League and vice versa. So we need that. And I think Daniel Levy needs to count his lucky stars that Jed Spence has come through this season, because that's probably saved him 30 million quid. Absolutely. I mean, I think we've been crying out for a backup left back for about a year now. He does need to sign one of them. Probably not now because we haven't got time, but maybe this summer.
Ronnie, you're a young kid. You're probably more across the transfer window than me. Who are we going to bring in? Is there anyone that might surprise me and excite me?
To be honest, I think the window's gone now. I don't think we're going to get. I think we'll get a backup centre back. Because I agree with you. I do worry that I think one of Van der Ven or Romero is out for longer than we think, and I think Dragusin might be out for a longer time.
Yeah.
But if I want anyone to come in, I'd like Rayan Cherki. I'd love him, but I think he's going to go Dortmund. I think he's going to choose him. I don't think we're going to go in for him really.
All right. Before I let you go, give me your scoreline prediction for Thursday night away at Anfield.
I think today was a good prep for that, actually, for Liverpool, how we're going to play. I can't say we're going to lose because that's just ridiculous, but 2-2.
2-2 and a 3-2 aggregate victory takes us to Wembley. Top man, mate. Well, let's talk after that game as well. Really appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
See ya. Okay, guys. So, wow. Listen, never did I think I would be so happy to have just played such a grotty game of football, but we won it 2-0 at Brentford. They're very, very hard to beat at their own place. And frankly, with the way it's been going the last few months in the league, you take what you can get. Backs to the wall performance. Absolutely loved it. If you'd like to appear on a future episode of this fan show, email tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. That's tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. It's very important to us that this channel gives everyone a voice, particularly from those around the world. So wherever you're from, please get in touch. Okay, that's been an amazing afternoon. The watch-along, the post-match reaction, and the fan show is all so great. So great to talk to so many of you. Loads of you watching today. So thank you so much for the support. Make sure if you're not already that you subscribe to Chris's channel at Chris Cowlin, and also my channel as well, which is at Barnaby Slater _ on YouTube. Be doing a lot of transfer stuff on my channel tomorrow, as will Chris. So make sure you give them a subscribe. Also, more importantly, in 5 minutes' time, Craig Dearman will be hosting the Spurs Chat podcast, starting at 5 o'clock. So go over to the other stream, which will be in the live section of Chris's channel on YouTube. Craig will be joined by Darren Altman, Cy the Fox, and Terry Kim. So make sure you watch that. That'll be on for the next hour or so. More Spurs content. Can you get enough Spurs content after a victory like that? I would argue not. It's been a great day. Let's go into Thursday and get our way to Wembley and the first trophy. That's what we want. If we win that League Cup, I think we can go all the way in all of those competitions. There you go. I said it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Come on, you Spurs.